from our hearts. By tearing down Washington and Jefferson, these radicals would tear down the very heritage for which men gave their lives to win the Civil War. They would erase the memory that inspired those soldiers to go to their deaths, singing these words of the battle hymn of the Republic. As he died to make men holy, let us die to make men free, while God is marching on.
We are live. You're watching Trump's speech in Mount Rushmore.
They would tear down the principles that propelled the abolition of slavery and ultimately around the world, ending an evil institution that had plagued humanity for thousands and thousands of years. Our opponents would tear apart the very documents that Martin Luther King used to express his dream and the ideas that were the foundation of the righteous movement for civil rights. They would tear down the beliefs, culture, and identity that have made America the most vibrant and tolerant society in the history of the earth. My fellow Americans, it is time to speak up loudly and strongly and powerfully and defend the integrity of our country.
We're going to do a usual show in a few minutes, but we were going to cover this because this is going to be a pretty epic speech in front of Mount Rushmore, the beautiful monument, quite appropriate for during the past events where monuments being torn down. This one can't be torn down. So this is great optics on the president's part. Very interesting choice. Perfect image of the president in front of a monument of our founders on 4th of July.
It is time for our politicians to summon the bravery and determination of our American ancestors. It is time. It is time to plant our flag and to protect the greatest of this nation for citizens of every race, in every city, and every part of this glorious land. For the sake of our honor, for the sake of our children, for the sake of our union, we must protect and preserve our history, our heritage, and our great heroes. Here tonight, before the eyes of our forefathers, Americans declare again, as we did 244 years ago, that we will not be tyrannized, we will not be demeaned, and we will not be intimidated by bad, evil people. It will not happen. We will proclaim the ideals of the Declaration of Independence, and we will never surrender the spirit and the courage and the cause of July 4th, 1776. Upon this ground, we will stand firm and unwavering. In the face of lies meant to divide us, demoralize us, and diminish us, we will show that the story of America unites us, inspires us, includes us all, and makes everyone free. We must demand that our children are taught once again to see America, as did Reverend Martin Luther King when he said that the founders had signed a promissory note to every future generation. Dr. King saw that the mission of justice required us to fully embrace our founding ideals. Those ideals are so important to us. The founding ideals. He called on his fellow citizens not to rip down their heritage, but to live up to their heritage.
Very smart choice of invoking Martin Luther King.
Above all, our children from every community must be taught that to be American is to inherit the spirit of the most adventurous and confident people ever to walk the face of the earth. Americans are the people who pursued our manifest destiny across the ocean, into the uncharted wilderness, over the tallest mountains, and then into the skies, and even into the stars. We are the country of Andrew Jackson, Ulysses S. Grant, and Frederick Douglass. We are the land of Wild Bill Hickok and Buffalo Bill Cody. We are the nation that gave rise to the Wright brothers, the Tuskegee Airmen, Harriet Tubman, Clara Barton, Jesse Owens, George Patton, General George Patton, the great Louis Armstrong, Alan Shepard, Elvis Presley, and Muhammad Ali. And only America could have produced them all.
Yes.
No other place.
No, it's not pandering, Alejandro, because
we are the culture that put up the Hoover Dam, laid down the highways, and sculpted the skyline of Manhattan. We are the people who dreamed a spectacular dream. It was called Las Vegas in the Nevada desert, who built up Miami from the Florida marsh, and who carved our heroes into the face of Mount Rushmore.
It's really smart because Martin Luther King is
Americans harnessed electricity,
it's gonna be difficult.
Split the atom, and gave the world the telephone and the internet. We settled the Wild West, won 2 world wars, landed American astronauts on the moon, and one day, very soon, we will plant our flag on Mars.
Yes. No, it's not pairing because he is trying to bring a unifying message on our most unifying day in America, the 4th of July.
Walt Whitman, the stories of Mark Twain, the songs of Irving Berlin, the voice of Ella Fitzgerald, the style of Frank Sinatra,
Yes.
the comedy of Bob Hope, the power of the Saturn V rocket, the toughness of the Ford F-150,
Yes. He knows his
and
base.
the awesome might of the American aircraft carriers.
Yes. It's American greatness. That's what this is all about.
Americans must never lose sight of this miraculous story.
Martin
Never
Luther
lose
King
sight
is
of it.
American greatness. Black
Nobody
Lives
has
Matter
ever
is
done it
not.
like we have done it. So today, under the authority vested in me as President of the United States,
How did he harness COVID, Roger?
I am announcing the creation of a new monument to the giants of our past.
Yo!
I am signing an executive order to establish the National Guard of American Heroes, a vast outdoor park that will feature the statues of the greatest Americans to ever live.
Wow. That's genius. Create a statue. Build a statue. Not destroying a statue. Fantastic. While they're tearing down statues, he's building them. Perfect.
From this night and from this magnificent place, let us go forward united in our purpose and rededicated in our resolve. We will raise the next generation of American patriots. We will write the next thrilling chapter of the American adventure. And we will teach our children to know that they live in a land of legends, that nothing can stop them, and that no one can hold them down.
Yes.
They will know that in America, you can do anything, you can be anything, and together we can achieve anything. Uplifted by the titans of Mount Rushmore, we will find unity that no one expected.
Yep.
We will make strides
All about unity
that no one
tonight.
thought possible. This country will be everything that our citizens have hoped for so many years.
No, they're not going to
And
tear
that
down
our
Alhambra. They're
enemies
going to have National
fear,
Guard around it and protect it.
Because we will never forget
There would
that
be an
the
optics
American
failure if that
freedom
happened.
exists
Hey, buddy.
for American
Hey, how's it going,
greatness.
Apex?
And
I'm
that's what we
live.
have,
Oh,
American
copy that.
greatness.
Hi, chat. How you doing tonight, man?
Pretty good.
Centuries
watching
from
Trump's
now, our
speech here
legacy will be
And giving commentary on all
the
the little
cities we built,
parts where people clap and whatnot.
the champions we forged,
Well, somehow
the good
I
that we
can't do
did,
both on my phone
and the
here.
monuments we
Maybe, you
created
know what?
to
Hold up.
inspire
I'm gonna
us
mute for
all.
just a second. I'll be right back.
Sure thing.
My fellow citizens, America's destiny is in our sights. America's heroes are embedded in our hearts.
Let's turn this
America's
up a bit.
future is in our hands. And ladies and gentlemen, the best
Is
yet
yet to come. That's such a good line. Yes, that is Apex. USA. USA.
This has been a great honor for the First Lady and myself to be with you. I love your state. I love this country. I'd like to wish everybody a very happy 4th of July. To all, God bless you. God bless your families. God bless our great military. And God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes. They replay that music. Oh my god, I gotta turn that down, else we're gonna get like this video pulled. That's right, America. Fuck yeah. I was wondering, like, he's gotta play fucking rock music, and that's what he did. Epic, epic, epic.
Damn. Is he done then?
He just finished.
Yeah. I got my laptop out, but I'm like, well, shit, the sound's gonna echo. So I can't really do
Yeah,
that
I
either.
know what you mean.
Good. I did get to listen to some of it. He sounded a little. His speech patterns were a little slower than usual at points.
They were,
I was a
yeah.
little. It seemed a little weird actually at points to me, but other than that, the content was solid as always. It wasn't as comedic as the last one. There was some comedy though, for sure.
Yeah. Well,
That
yeah,
I-
the
that
rally
I heard.
ones, he goes more comedic for sure.
That's true. Because this was a fucking Independence Day celebration. That's true. Yeah.
Did you hear the part? And I was like, my jaw dropped at the part. Oh, it looks like the fireworks are happening. Turn the volume back up. So he turned up some rock music. I was like, fuck yeah, that's America. But he announced that he will be building new national monuments.
Oh.
I was like, that is perfect. Perfect.
Actually.
The Marxist
Oh.
BOM radical left is tearing down. Oh, here's the fireworks. Is tearing down monuments, while he, a builder who's built things, hotels and everything, is building monuments as president. Is so perfectly on brand, so perfect optics, and he announced it at the perfect time. Rather than tearing things
That
down,
is
let's
pretty
add
amazing.
stuff. Love it, love it, love it.
Now, just to give you a heads up, Dexter,
Mm-hmm.
Alejandro in the chat is my friend. So he's
I've
just
been
FYI.
giving comments back and forth with him as he has been saying stuff. The
Oh
stage looks
my
like it was
God.
taken straight from Munich circa 1928. It just looks
He
like
likes that
the
card.
most American stage in the world, which is glorious.
So Dexter, I have a confession to make to you right now.
Oh boy.
I just walked into my living room. I'm sorry, into my kitchen, and there are 4 tiny little kittens on my deck,
Aww.
looking at me through the window. They're pretty scared. So I'm gonna just put some food out and go back to talking to you.
Oh yeah, please do.
They totally just yanked my attention though.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that's one of his popular angles. There is that, Nazi Germany. he I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I feel like I've heard the argument or the expression or the however you want to word it, that he feels a connection to people in Germany circa the early 40s or the mid late 30s. That was like, oh shit, wait a minute, what's going on here? And like he's witnessing that rebirth around him, and he feels like one of the few that sees it. And I, as his oldest living friend, as he is mine, doesn't understand my views. And I mean, granted, we haven't actually vocally spoke about them. It's all been via text message, but he believes very strongly the things that he believes, and I believe very strongly the things that I believe. So the only middle ground that I can think of is, hey, I talk on these shows sometimes. If you maybe there's smarter people than me that can break this shit down for you, because I mean, I may not be that dumb, but I'm not very articulate, especially when it comes to complicated things that I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on. Politics is one of them. I learn more the older I get, but I didn't go to school for any of that shit. I could barely go to school at all. But no, the biggest sticking point is just Donald Trump as a person, and that's where he and I, we really, I can't make him see the disparate coverage by the media between Obama and Trump. And he says things like Obama had no scandals and was a married man, et cetera, et cetera. It makes me very sad because I don't know how to combat them. I could throw shit posts on the internet, but this is my friend. I don't know how to combat it when it's somebody that you actually care about. And I realize how little facts I have stored away amongst all the shit talking points. I mean, and even the ones that I have don't matter a lot of times. So I can't see the chat. Is he talking shit right now?
He says, if you can't see the similarities in reference to Hitler, obviously I can't help you there. Well, let me explain something, okay? This is the simple fact of how I can debunk the Hitler comparisons. There is no sitting president that is even close to Hitler other than FDR. FDR put Japanese in internment camps, and looking back at it, I still don't even know how he was able to do that. But our current system of government lets you do very little as president. Yes, you have your executive orders and other things, but there are numerous checks and balances. First of all, bills gotta go through Congress. The president can't just write laws like Hitler did. The president can't just appoint himself supreme leader like Hitler basically did, even though, yeah, it was chancellor, not supreme leader, but whatever. The president can't just round people up like Hitler did. The president can't just create gas chambers and put minorities in there, and people are going to have just zero issues with that. It hasn't happened. It will never happen in our lifetimes unless things go extremely crazy. And even then, we still have the Supreme Court to check everything. The Supreme Court won't even let Trump revoke DACA. So how is he even close to Hitler if he can't even get rid of DACA, which he is allowed to do? And then he's okay. What Alejandro's saying, and we paid them reparations, the Japanese citizens. Okay, I don't think anybody in this current year deserves reparations. But I will say, if there is any group that if you want to pick that deserves reparations, it would have to either be the Native Americans or the Japanese descent from internment camps. Those people were genuinely oppressed. Other than that, everything else is off the fucking table.
Yeah, because I mean, I've been, as I've told Alejandro, like I've actually been doing a lot of since he and I really started arguing about this stuff. Basically, since George Floyd died, I've been diving into both ends, both my end of thinking and his end. The intellectuals on the internet and in print media and elsewhere, as much as I could get my hands on that interested me, that could hold my attention anyway. But what has really had me in a profound state is a lot of these black conservatives going back, decades, like the Thomas Sowells and as recently as like the Coleman Hughes. And I'm not a real big fan of Candace Owens, but she's one too. And the oh fuck, what was the point that I was trying to make? Was that I can't get him to watch any of these people and listen to them speak because he despises the conservative perspective. So he's just because he empathizes with Black Lives Matter, unless they speak conservatively, then they don't matter. At least their opinions don't. And it's just a weird dichotomy. It's a very, he says it's not emotional, but I think it is. It's a very emotional and dare I say virtue signaling sort of stance on a lot of these things, which I think everybody's guilty of at certain points in their life. You know what I mean? Like everybody empathizes too much, or whatever. And when the shit's forced down all of our throats, that's what bothers me about it. And like, of course, Black lives fucking matter because all goddamn lives matter. They have my whole life. I mean, granted, it's a white life, so that invalidates that. But go ahead.
Well, I was gonna first say hi to Donnie since she's waving the chat. Thank you for tuning in.
Hi, Donnie.
You can always jump in the chat. Oh, we got Sam.
I am not here.
Yeah, it's true. You are not here. This is a just twin brother of Sam's that we've recently stumbled upon that's been lost for many years, and when he's been going through some times recently, this guy just came in and just came to show some support.
Apparently, Sam's twin brother also likes James Bond a lot, which is funny because Sam loves James Bond. So,
well, hey, twins are twins. They're gonna be similar in inside and out.
True.
So, Alejandro says the Cherokee Nations use socialism to take care of their own with money made off of gambling.
That's wait. Money made off of gambling. That's capitalism.
He says no. Back before that, he says the natives they've gotten land and reparations as well.
Okay, the natives, did they really get land? Did they really? Like,
no.
Look how much they fucking have. If you look on a map of Native American land in America right now, it's like nothing. And they're even protesting at this fucking speech. I think it's the Sioux tribe. I forget who it is. They're like, the president shouldn't be here. This is our land. And I'm like, look, it's like libertarians. I'm like, yes, you are technically fucking right. But this doesn't matter, and you're not going to get what you want now.
Yeah. That's what I was actually, the train of thought that I lost just a minute or two ago was that these black conservatives, one of these popular opinions that I've heard, or takes rather, if you want to talk about reparations, let's talk about affirmative action. If you want actual like reparations, like an actual sum to all African American families, American citizens, then we end you know, affirmative action, which is obviously harmful to black people anyway, and also white people. I mean, it's harmful. It's just a harmful. It's segregating by design.
And Alejandro, you're now saying the Native Americans disperse this money into social service, education, healthcare. The Native Americans communities are some of the poorest, worst communities in America, unfortunately.
Most addicted.
Yes.
Yeah. Substance
Big
abusing,
drug addiction
absolutely.
problems, specifically with opioids, rape problems, lack of law enforcement, obesity problems, alcohol problems. These may sound like stereotypes. They might not sound so nice, but these are legitimate problems these communities are having, and nobody seems to really care about it. That's the other
Oh my
thing.
goodness. Royalty has entered. Oh, and she muted. Never mind.
No, I'm still here.
Oh,
Hello.
hi. Hi, Donnie.
Is she going to get? Is she going to get banned from Discord next? Or
Yeah, we need to talk about that in a second. Actually, that's a good segue. Before we dive into that, though,
Yeah.
because I didn't ask, I asked Apex a little bit, but Sam and Donnie, what did you think of Trump's speech? If you watched it, I would hope you watched it. If you haven't yet, it had some pretty epic moments of like for example, one moment I'll mention is that he announced he's going to be building new national monuments, which is, I think, just the perfect play he could have done tonight. But what did you guys think of it?
well, I didn't see it because I fell asleep. I took a nap, but yeah, I took a nap at like 9:30 so I could stay up till like 3 or however long this is going to
You
go.
fucking old man. Come on.
Well, I mean, it was either that or something I can't mention here on stream. So, but
dead air. Oh. Did you watch the speech, Sam?
But no, I think I like slept through the speech, but the national monuments thing, I think is a good idea. I also think that might partially be a troll too.
No,
So-
it's legit.
I
I'm
don't
looking
think
this
so.
up to double check what he actually said. He'll be signing an executive order to create a new national monument to honor all great American heroes, the National Garden of American Heroes, with an outdoor park featuring the greatest Americans to ever live.
That's fucking amazing,
It's-
dude. Because there are gonna be people of every race in that fucking statues of every race in that fucking park.
Exactly.
That's amazing. That is such a
Well-
good idea.
MLK,
Well, no,
Muhammad Ali, Thomas Jefferson, because he was naming some of
Soldiers,
these
I
names.
mean,
Soldiers,
Let's not
yeah,
forget,
Patton.
yes, Medal of Honor winners and shit, dude. I
Patton's
mean,
not American.
fuck.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
Oh, speaking of like, if they do Presidential Medal of Freedom recipients, then can you imagine like them having a statue of Rush Limbaugh?
Oh my god.
And like,
He mentioned
So many-
Sinatra. He mentioned Bob Hope. So I think these are ones he's
Why would
probably he's testing it out. So this is what he always does as a businessman. He tests ideas. You'll see us at rallies. He'll test slogans with people, and here he's testing names of people to include in the park. So he'll say like
But-
Frank Sinatra, cheers. Bob Hope, some more cheers. Like let's say he says Rush Limbaugh, lots of cheers. It's like, okay, I'm putting Rush in it. That's how he
I
does
think,
it.
dude, I think it would be a brilliant idea to have, social and military, those like the pinnacles of those two, because those do span every race and every skin color and every religion.
He should get ones
that's
too
a
that are
great
more
idea.
like, like obviously have the well-known ones, but have like some lesser-known ones, like or ones that they were a hero for, like
Right.
like for example, Sully Sullenberger, the pilot that landed on
Yeah.
the Hudson. We all know
Fat-
him, but kind of slowly forget about him. He's not like somebody you're
Yeah,
gonna see
say-
maybe all the time, but something like
In
that.
10 years, right? In 10 years, people won't really remember unless there's a reason to.
Mm-hmm.
Fat
And
cat.
that's why statues are important. Museums and shit are important.
Yep.
People have
That
to see
can't-
history to be able to remember it.
Fat Cack Boy in the Whitfield Report chat says a statue of Andrew Breitbart would be nice. I mean, yes, certainly. I mean, when I say it's a troll, I mean I definitely believe that he's doing it. Like, it's not a troll in the sense that he's faking, but I do believe it's a troll in the sense that, like, he's doing it to say, okay, you leftist commie bastards want to tear down statues. Well, fuck you. We'll build more fucking statues.
That's what's
I think.
great about. Yeah, I see the trolly
I-
aspect now.
Yeah, I think that. I think.
Don't be just
I think
savage.
that's where he's coming from.
I don't want to derail this topic, but I have to inform you that in my backwoods, rural ass neighborhood in the Midwest, a fucking couch just drove by with like two 12s on the back and headlights and fucking brake lights and an ottoman. These
Wait.
people had their feet up.
There was a
Well,
guy on J Leno's garage. It's like the guy used to be on the Wheeler Dealer
I can't believe I
show.
just saw that.
Yeah, the fucking couch.
Dude.
Apex
No, this was legit though. This wasn't just some redneck engineering. This thing was fucking. I mean, we're talking brake lights, headlights. The ottoman was out in front of them, and like, oh, dude, I don't know how the fuck he was steering that thing, but that was cool.
Apex
I heard
was
the music first. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Apex was Mersh on that couch by chance?
Mm-mm. No, that's just way too high tech for Mersh. Are you kidding me? That might be
Hey.
Mersh's couch though. He may have finally
Hey.
upgraded.
Hey guys,
Go ahead,
I'm
Don.
gonna tell you my favorite part just before we forget my part.
Sure.
Is when the guy screamed out, "Not on my watch," and then Trump's facial expression afterwards, after he said that, and the whole crowd exploded pretty much after that. That was awesome.
Oh,
like
yeah,
to
that
point
was
out
pretty
all
hard.
the things that Q has been pointing out. He said it out loud in a speech today, and I was thinking during that time
Yeah.
frame when he was announcing everything, I was like, I've been thinking of Q the whole time, and I'm really happy. I'm ready to see how they're gonna fix it. All the stuff going on in schools, the media. I'm just ready to see how he's gonna fix it, and I'm happy that he announced it like that today, what he did. But like, I want to know how he's gonna do it, and how soon.
Mm. Yeah, this fireworks
So-
show is a killer one. You guys watching this? think
I
we're
am
on the
not.
finale.
I'm watching the chat.
I'm watching
but,
both.
I was gonna ask out loud instead of typing it, Alejandro, since we have a beautiful young black woman in here who is very much counter to a lot of the things that you espouse, I wonder if you have any questions for her specifically that she could answer for you.
Oof.
Does-
Put him
What
on
kind
the
of question?
spot.
What kind of question?
What? Any question?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's got a finger up. No, it's mostly what our arguments have centered around over the last several weeks is systemic racism and its hold on the black community in America. And he, as a white liberal, believes that me as a white man and he as a white man have a duty to stand up for Black Lives Matter, and to not say all lives matter, because all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. A lot of cliches, actually, is the things we've been arguing about, which is mainly the reason we've been arguing, because we don't really disagree on a lot of these things. But I can't make him understand my more conservative leaning and Trump ultimately supporting mindset. And
I mean,
I can't get him to watch any videos of conservative black thinkers.
He's on now.
But I can get him to come on a show that I am on and talk
Okay,
shit in the
cool.
chat.
Hi.
Yeah, so
Hey, how are you doing today? Did you ask a question yet?
I don't know.
you also have a physically disabled. You also have a physically disabled conservative that you can ask questions of.
That's
Oh, we
true.
just
not-
gotta pull out
But
all
Sam-
the stops tonight.
I'm not.
Sam, you're a white man, so
It
you know
doesn't
what?
matter.
Even your physical disabilities, bro.
Yeah, they
You're-
don't
You know-
matter. They're all trumped out
you know-
by your whiteness.
You know what? I kid you not. I've actually been told that by liberals. No,
Jesus Christ.
I am
I-
not. I am not even joking about that.
The memes write themselves.
Yeah.
Dude, the memes become fucking true. That's what like.
What comes first, reality or the meme?
these
Dude.
these days it's hard to tell, to be honest.
Honestly,
I
no.
think
These
memes
days,
first. I feel like it's memes first, and then you look and see if it's right or not.
yeah, yeah.
I think
That's
you
what I was
find
just
out
about to
if-
say. Recently,
Yeah.
recently it feels like memes come before reality, but almost just before reality in a lot of cases.
Well,
But
because I had a thing
it's fucking
somebody
wild.
posted in one of my group me's in the CR group me for Penn State, and it was a thing about this place at Penn State. I think it's called Jersey Mike's. I think it's Jersey Mike's, and it was a screenshot of
Yummy.
what looked like a statement saying, "Oh, we're changing the BLT sandwich to the BLM sandwich," and I'm reading it and I'm like, what? And then somebody's like,
Really?
this is a joke, right? And I'm like, is this a joke? And I Google it, and it turned out to be totally fake. But I believed it for a good while. Because I'm like, I could fucking
Dude,
see
yeah.
him doing it.
Bacon, lettuce, and mayonnaise. I mean,
Maybe. Wait, mayonnaise are white, aren't they?
yeah, but like, yeah, but that's the only thing that makes sense with that. I mean, unless there's like some vegetable that starts with M that I'm not aware of, but like,
Margarine.
How about bread, lettuce, and meat?
There you go. There you go. It's like a burger with like just lettuce on it. That sounds like a great meal right there. I would love me a BLM right now.
Wait,
Sorry, go ahead.
I'd like a BLT with no lettuce, just bacon and tomato. So I guess a BT sandwich or something
are you
like
just gonna
that.
eat that with a fork, or is there bread on there too, man? Like, what are we talking about here?
Well, obviously, yeah. I mean,
Oh, okay.
haven't you ever had a
I mean,
Haven't you ever had a BLT, Gamma?
You didn't say BLT. You said a bacon tomato.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah,
you
I
started
know,
cutting
but-
shit out. I was wondering how far you were cutting back. Like, you can use bacon as bread, you know, and put the tomato in the middle.
Just trying to save
That's like the
weight.
meat.
No.
What you got
What,
against lettuce?
no. What would be cool though is if I just had bacon, and then bacon in between bacon, and then tomato. So.
Y'all are making me hungry. It's too late for that.
Second.
So-
Has your
Oh,
friend
man.
asked any questions yet, or no?
I don't know. I'm
Let me
not
check
sure.
the chat.
Well, yeah,
Um,
He just said, I love asking questions, hard to keep up via text. I love all people and I'm from the suburbs. I agree with both those things. Well, I am from the suburbs and I do love all people. All good people, that is. But I've met a lot of people of color who have been harassed based on their skin color, where I have not, and I should have been due to my past actions.
Well,
what
Shovel
are these
Point
stories?
asks Alejandro. Shovel Point asks Alejandro, what is America's issue? Anti-black racism or white supremacy?
Aren't
And,
those things
they're the same.
That's
It's exactly what Alejandro says. Aren't those the same thing? And he just says, I would have to assume that they're both equally negative, but we still have white supremacy groups not on the domestic terrorist list.
Wait, Alejandro, aren't you admitting that you are a white supremacist technically?
That's the other thing I've been trying to make him understand is like his positions make him way more racist than I think he understands.
You
Like,
were literally
all
saying...
black people need your help? What the fuck? What do you mean black people need your help?
But he's also literally saying that his skin color carries a higher, some privilege to it, so a higher status to it. So that creates a hierarchy, which means you are claiming that you are superior to other people. I know you're gonna say no, but yeah, look, it's something you are saying without even realizing it. I'm not saying that in a mean way. I'm just saying like that is literally what you're saying.
It's another like point that I've tried to make. I'm like, dude, look, I I say things in our conversations or arguments rather that, you know, when clipped out, like is done nowadays, it could be taken as like racist, I guess. You especially framed in a different context, but um, ultimately, I'm being honest about my feelings, and he knows me, and he knows he'll say that's my favorite part is the I know you're not racist, but the things you're saying and the things you're saying you believe are racist. Like, and you know, the fact that he can't change my mind. It's a weird. I feel like it's a weird struggle in his mind. Am I racist to my oldest friend in the world? I don't know.
Well,
He says with his words that he doesn't think so, but
Wait, he just
again,
said
it's
I've
like,
driven around with drugs on me, and because the cops didn't assume I was up to no good, I got let go. But did the cops find the drugs?
well, that's another thing, the white privilege thing. Because he's white, he had drugs on him, and they didn't suspect he was. And this has happened to me too. Actually, they've suspected that I was up to no good, and I had drugs on me, and I got away. So, and I was drunk. So that was one time.
Wait, what
Anyway,
are white? Wait,
but-
which white supremacy websites does Apex use for debate?
I don't know. Oh, my
I
father
want to
sent
point
me
something out. I
yeah.
have an example here that if you know, can we agree that a lot of liberals are pro weed, pro 420? They're looking
Yes.
for weed. When they see a black person walking around, they assume they know where to get weed from. So that right there can be considered racist. And actually, it
Yeah.
can be offensive depending on which black person you say that to. Because you just assume
That's-
that I have weed or know how to find weed or buy it because I'm black.
Right. That's a good example.
Okay, he's
but-
now saying.
That either. I was just thinking it recently because I remember like people used to always ask me. I'm like, dude, I have no idea where to get it at. Like, and if I ask people from the police, they won't tell me anything. So.
Okay, he's saying he didn't get searched, so that's why they didn't suspect you're up to no good. If they found drugs on you, they would arrest you if it's illegal in your state.
and also you're saying you get your weed illegally, Alejandro. So you're kind of contradicting yourself because
No,
Wait,
he's
you
not.
said-
He's saying no. He's saying he's making his point. He's saying that he's engaging in illegal activity, and because he didn't act, rather in what he's saying, his argument's angle, because by his skin color, he doesn't look suspicious. They didn't bother to look further to find the drugs that he was illegally carrying and had illegally obtained,
Well,
which again has happened to me. I won't say because I'm white, but because when I get pulled over, I learn to talk to the police with respect and not,
yeah.
you know, try to pretend like, you know, anything other than what I am, afraid of the cops because the cops are scary. And
here's a big thing though too, for your consideration, Alejandro. To me, it's more appearance technically than anything else,
Yeah.
right?
Perception
if
is reality.
If you're a black man, but you're, you know, clean cut and you know, dressed decently, you know, like looking normal, you're not gonna get harassed. Versus
I'm gonna wait.
versus
Go ahead.
versus if you're a white guy, but you're, you know, looking like a tweaker, you're all, you know, ratted out, and you know you're kind of looking sketchy, then
Well, I've
cops
seen
are
people sketchy too, though, and they don't get harassed. So I don't understand where this random harassment thing's coming from.
well no but what I'm saying is I is in my experience from what I've seen, it seems to be like more that type of appearance that cops go after than color.
Profile.
So
Well, yeah, they look for the disheveled. They look for the fucking dilated pupils. They look for I mean, the shit that they're supposed to be trained to look for. And, you know, one of the things that I stood firm on originally in my arguments with him was that racism wasn't real. And I mean, obviously that's not true. because prejudice is real, and prejudice is just another word, or racism is just an extension of prejudice. Every living thing on the fucking planet has prejudice, period. It's just how we're built. But it doesn't mean it has to be violent. And that was one of the arguments I've been making to him about America, in my perspective of it, is that, you can't stop racism. To try to is going to create an environment so much worse than you think is going to come of it. Because the ideals of freedom of speech is the ideals of freedom of thought, which I may have said on the show before, but if you can't speak freely, then you inherently can't think freely. And that there encompasses a lot of danger, in a lot of ways, giving
Yeah.
chaos only gives the bad people power. And that's what's happening right now.
And when you assume that a certain group might think something is racist, you have actually been prejudiced by thinking that way. When Trump said that that city in Baltimore was dirty and trashy and people didn't want to live there, when people assume, oh, that's racist based because it was a black, was he mayor? Was he black mayor? He passed away. They assumed because he was black, he was attacking black people, and because black people live there. That's not what was being said. And to me, I'm like, that's actually offensive because that's not what he said. So you were assuming that it's black people just because of that.
Donnie, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. When some about criminals, and murders and rapists at the border, you guys gave that title to a particular group. So that right there in yourself, when you said that and assumed that he was talking about just Mexicans, even though there's all kinds of races that come up through the border, you guys, not your friend, I'm not directly saying your friend, but people in general say that that's a particular race. That act in yourself, doing that is racist or prejudice.
That is exactly right, because it's just like recently when our president said these thugs and criminals looting and burning buildings down need to be stopped. And right, because thugs automatically, I'm assuming because it was perpetuated by all of the fucking mainstream news channels, became a racial slur. Even though Obama used the term thugs previously in his presidency, Bush used the term thugs. What's that?
And Obama said the N-word with ER at the end.
Well, yeah, and the thing, too, is I've noticed, again, this is something the right, I think, and I've said this before, sucks at, until recently, is language. The left controls language. How do they do that? Academia. It's not history anymore, it's revisionist history. Thomas Jefferson was a slave owner. You people have white guilt. America was racist. America was never that great. They all use this specific language that is carefully constructed and it trickles down. They don't believe in trickle-down economics, but they sure as hell use trickle-down language. You look at everything they do. Like, look, in 24 hours, we went from just sort of Black Lives Matter protests to, there's a language again, Black Lives Matter, to we need to defund police, then went to abolish police. It's very specifically engineered, curated language, because stuff like that is simple, it's punchy, it's provocative, and it's a slogan. Somebody creates it and it gets passed down the echelons. This is how these things always work. Or March for Our Lives. The Parkland thing is super engineered. These kids get plucked out, and then they have all these pretty t-shirts and logos and like fucking water bottles made with their shit on it, and they're going all around all these places. There's these events that with massive stages and TVs, and everybody's there. And all these protesters are coming out with brand new batons. Antifa's brand new batons at these Black Lives Matter protests. Is so engineered. And at the end of the day, the biggest control of it is language, because language controls thought. Thought controls language. They understand this very well, and the right has absolutely sucked at it to a marketing guy came into the scene, which is Trump, and he brought new, fresh, solid, punchy visual language, like "Make America Great Again." Every word is strong and has like a cadence to it. Is punchy. Build the wall. Build the wall. It's visual. It's provocative. It sums up a immigration like 3 words. I can't count.
And he has funny commercials. Like he's like
Well,
Super Bowl. He has Super Bowl like level commercials, like funny ones.
well,
Yeah.
and echoing what Sean said, I mean, Andrew Breitbart was saying the same thing for,
Yes.
years before he died. Politics is downstream from pop culture. And I will say this, I know my audience doesn't, part of my audience doesn't really like him, but I will say that as of the last month or so, I'm starting to see the old Ben Shapiro, the one that I knew and the one that I know and love reemerge a bit because he's been bringing up a lot of Andrew's old points. And I even heard Ben today like talk about the reason why Republicans keep losing is because they don't focus on culture, and Trump is the only one who has. I actually heard him say that. I couldn't believe it. So
Well, see, here's the thing. I think what conservatives need to stop doing, though, in regards to that, because I do agree with what you're saying, but I think the next step is action. We are always best when it's action. Words are great. Okay, but where's the action? The left, for some, is really sort of, I don't want to say they're bold with their actions, but they are less hesitant. The right's like, oh, we don't do culture. We don't make jokes. We're serious. We're articulate, and we're it's a debate club sort of conservatives. It's just kind of boring and hasn't really gotten us anywhere. Like these stupid think tanks. Like what have they done? Nothing. You have people that come into the fray like Milo, like Crowder, like Gavin. They're funny, that are interesting. You need more of that, and you need to actually. What we need to do really is somebody that goes out and like finds future people like that and helps them. I mean, that's what we kind of try doing this show. What was that?
what do you think I've been doing all these? What do you think I've been doing all these years?
Really? Has that been your conquest?
Well, I mean, so my kind of whole thing, I mean, why I'm here is, as I've explained before, like I'm a guy who was interested in comic books and like pop culture and movies and just like goofing around with my friends in high school, in middle school slash high school, up until, up until Obama ran for president and we started seeing all of this, like pop culture, like this newspeak pop up, with like with like hope and change and like all these empty slogans. Well, what the hell is that? And then like it started to become like inappropriate for my friends and I just make jokes with each other, at the lunch table. And I was told that like, oh, I shouldn't make disparaging jokes. I shouldn't call myself a cripple because I was disparaging myself, and I shouldn't do that. So,
So you weren't allowed to make fun of yourself.
basically, and it just got worse. Like thank God I graduated high school when I did, because soon afterwards, like the high school that I went to really started to push like the trans stuff thing hard, and like it just, like I said, I'm glad I left Colorado when I did. But I mean, my whole thing is basically I've always considered myself a conservative, a conservatarian, but I've also always done my best to be a nice, guy too, and I'm not out to really hurt anyone, but like I'm going to stand firm with my beliefs. I'm going to treat, everyone with respect. But if these Marcus, try and come after me, well, they're gonna get lit up. So, verbally at least.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, it's like that. See, reminds me kind of. We've all seen it. The image of those two, that couple in St. Louis when Black Lives Matter tried to storm their mansion and they came out with fucking guns, and you had like. It was something out of either Miami Vice or Scarface. It was like
it looked like the cover of the new fucking GTA is what it looked like.
yes, there was a meme with that. It was like GTA St. Louis and show them on there. I mean, okay, it's fucking funny. Like it is hilarious to look at, but if what we are seeing in Florida happens everywhere, like if there's autonomous zones in multiple cities, which I'm still predicting is going to happen. What you saw at that mansion is foreshadowing of what's going to come more. More people are going to be buying guns. More people are going to be stocking up. Because if you don't have cops, you only have you. So you're going to have to defend yourself. And if anything, you know what? That might make people a little bit tougher. But the other problem is it also makes the other side more radical. And what I am concerned about, and this is something I think that nobody's talking about, and if they are talking about it, they're not talking about enough. Because I'm seeing before my eyes people I know that were moderate, people I know that were just Trump supporters, that are going far right, that are going like beyond Groyper. Almost like dabbling with white nationalism.
Yep.
And it's
I've
concerning.
seen a lot of that too.
Well, I mean, fuck, that's what happened with Owen Benjamin, pretty much. I mean, I hate to keep bringing him. I hate
the O
I hate
word.
I hate to keep bringing him up, but he is.
Owen doesn't count because Owen is a grifter. Owen doesn't believe anything he says.
Well, Owen has a mental illness too. Like
many of them,
or allegedly, I would say this is now I guess. I believe he has a mental illness, but I'm talking about people like, I was just looking at one of the chats I'm in where somebody was ranting about, like, he's like, the people that have power over you are the people you can't criticize, like Israel. And I'm like, oh no. This was a guy that never would say this stuff. Now he's going hard at it. And I'm like, look, I will acknowledge Israel has a lot of influence in the world and a lot of influence on American politics. Whether that's good or bad, you can decide, whatever. But these holes that these people are going down, these rabbit holes, are dangerous because if there's one thing I will agree with Stefan on, when he got banned on YouTube, we're going to talk about the tech censorship soon because there's been a lot of major bans over the past few weeks.
I have a lot to fucking say about that.
I thought you might have something to say about that. But he put a video out on Twitter where he's telling people, he's like, look, he was just saying, like, I'm just trying to have conversations and bring some sanity. And he ended like with, don't be tempted by extremism. Don't eat that tempted fruit, basically. And that is what I'm seeing in people. And it's like, look, I'll even admit, I've gotten a little more extreme. I've gone a little bit more, but not this far. But I think you're right, Apex. I think this is the point of it, partially. It's like maybe an unintended consequence, but I think some people are smart enough to know this is what would happen.
Listen, we have, I'm not even exaggerating when I say my oldest friend and my best friend in the world in the chat, who I vehemently disagree with on a lot of current social issues, but we are best and oldest friends. So if that doesn't display just exactly how perfectly this whole, divide and conquer thing is working, I don't know what will, but I mean, at least from me, from my perspective, from where I sit, it's like, it is profound to me because the things we talk about seem so clear to me, but I can't, the numbers are so manipulatable. So depending on where they come from, and like, oh, the numbers from this year show this. Well, like, yeah, but that's 1 year. But oh, well, what about the crack cocaine epidemic that was implemented by the government, 40, 50, 60 years ago. Don't you think that it, affected? Well, sure it did, but like that doesn't that doesn't mean that like racism is the biggest problem for anybody right now, or has been for many years. I mean, do people deal with it? Yeah, they do. As a white man, I have actually dealt with it, mostly from Asian people who get really shitty with me because I'm white and I don't speak whatever language they speak.
I I I get it. I get it from Mexicans a lot.
I get it from
Now
some Mexicans too. There's quite a lot of
now
a quite dense Hispanic uh, population around me. Go ahead,
now
finish that.
now to be clear, yes, I am specifying Mexicans specifically because I live in Florida and there are lots of Cubans around me. Cubans never give me any grief. Um, I one of my closest friends is from Guatemala originally. He never gives me any grief. It's always the Mexicans in particular who give me a hard time because I don't see speak Spanish, and there was like, dude, you should, like, they're not even nice about it. Like, like you should learn, like, like, why haven't you, learned Spanish? There was like, dude, you should take Spanish because like Mexicans are a big part of the population, and like it's a thing now in the U.S. So you need to. It's basically like they act like they're entitled, and it's like no, it's like that makes me want to learn Spanish less because of your shitty attitude. So
I've gotten more racism from black people than anybody. Period. Hands down, easy.
wait,
Most I
Yeah.
yeah.
Donnie, that's impossible.
I
Well,
had to explain
what
it
do you
to somebody
like?
one day. Black people can't supposed to be racist. I'm like, yes, yes, black people can be racist. And I've gotten most of
Well,
it from black people, even before the Trump era, like even before all of that. I've, people have said things. Even like, no politics involved. I've still gotten it. I'm never
mm,
black enough.
racism does not have a color. Again, racism is just a finer point to prejudice. So, different color, different sex, different hair color, different eye color, different fucking region of the world, different language, they all matter to all of us. Period. Whether the degree it matters to is the thing that is really the argument at this point. They all matter. I don't care what you say. Everyone judges internally, some harsher than others, but we all do it. It's literally part of being a living thing, at least on
But
this planet in this
but it doesn't come
realm.
from hate though.
No, it doesn't have to. That's the whole point. Is judging. That's what's so dangerous about all this shit. In my perspective, is like of course racism exists. Of course people judge people by their skin color, and again by their hair color, by the shape of their body, by the uh, their complexion, whatever. That happens on so many levels every single day, and to assign one of those things, skin color, specifically to hate, which again, we've discussed, a good chunk of our population is that skin color, and there's always young people coming. I mean, it's a victim mentality thing. Like, yes, we all deal with adversity, and racism is going to be one of them. And yet, you know what? You might be more likely to deal with some racism as an African American or as a minority, let's say, in this country. But
I don't know
at
about
this
that.
point, well, I'm just speculating. But at this point, say that's true for whatever fraction of a percent that it is true for. That's not your biggest problem, and it isn't, and it hasn't been for decades. In my estimation, again, as a privileged white man with fucking nothing to his name but an internet connection and a phone to talk to you guys, uh, I mean, it baffles me, and I don't I am the most empathetic person I know, and it's actually my most damning trait. Because, but I can't just hand out victim cards to people. I will listen if you've been victimized in any way, and I will do what I can to help you. And I, of course, will empathize with that. But I am not just going to broad stroke just because of your fucking skin color and say that you're oppressed. Not in this country,
Oh yeah,
not in the country I've
exactly.
grown up in. That's
Yeah, definitely.
racist.
And then the thing is an accountability. So it's like, what can you do to change your own situation? So in how you react. So if someone says something that is supposed to be offensive, how do you react to it? So if you react, oh, I'm gonna be emotional, I'm a victim, okay, then how are you gonna progress? You're gonna sit there and be a victim. It's like, okay, someone's called me a name, okay? Am I what they called me? No, then move on. But then it's an also accountability thing. And so if you live in a terrible area and you're not getting good schooling, what are you doing to change that? Because there's people like my family who didn't stay in the area, who moved out somewhere else, who have a different story lifestyle. So where's your accountability personally for what you're doing to improve your situation? You can't blame everybody else for why you're not doing anything or you're not getting the achievements that you think you deserve. If you're not doing those things, you do not deserve these achievements. It doesn't matter what color skin you are. Like you said before, it doesn't matter. My thing is you have to have accountability.
I saw
That's the
something
point.
too, is that a lot of these, because I saw this on Twitter a few days ago, a lot of liberals love, or leftists love to trash on the whole white savior complex. Where it's like sometimes it's a trope in movies, intentionally or unintentionally, where a white guy comes in and saves the day for all the colored people. And they also believe it's a thing.
Oh wait, what about Tyler Perry, where the reverse happened?
Well, that's okay. Apparently, you can have
Ends up
a
in the city destroyed by Democrats.
yeah.
Right
oh,
there.
hey, Coconut.
Oh, hi,
Head, how you
Coconut Head.
doing?
Hey.
But all of it is run by Democrats, even Tyler Perry's version.
Well,
They do this whole thing, boo-hoo, this person's life, and it's the same story. And you don't have to watch one. You watch one movie, and they're all the same. And it's the same thing, and doesn't really like show a solution or how to make things better. Just someone's feelings got hurt, and some guy came in, and now she's happy. And we don't know how happy they were like 5 weeks after it. It's just a movie. It's like an hour-long movie.
But the thing is,
This
they trash on this idea all the time, and yet not only are they the ones that create it in movies, because 99% of directors are fucking far lefties, but they actively do it in every other way they treat minorities. Like, it is beyond like anything else. Like, they are always trying to be a white savior because they think they have white guilt, and so they'll go around like, oh, you poor minority, they said the N-word to you, I must help you, I must tear down these statues and cancel this person. Yeah, and like ban this person from Twitter and ruin their life for you because you can't handle this word. Well, how about what I was taught for when I was, let's say, bullied in school, was to stand up for myself and not let people have power over me, and not let them use insults and words over me, and have power to stand up for myself. Get help, yes, that's fine. We all need a little helping hand sometimes, but don't be my white knight. And I'm not saying white as in the racial sense, but necessarily, but in the phrase it normally is used
Knight in
as
shining armor. Let's go with that one.
Knight in shining armor. We can use that, but I think everybody gets my point, which is like, it's not helping anyone. I am the biggest proponent of independence and, personal growth and making some of yourself, because that is strength. That is American greatness. That's what's made this country awesome. It's what made successful civilizations. Yes, you can have your group, you can have your communities, fuck whatever. Obviously, you can have both worlds. But at the end of the day, you need to be able to stand up for yourself. That's why we have people holding fucking like GTA Miami Vice style like weaponry coming out of their mansions in Florida, ready to pack some heat. Like, because that's the American way.
The fucking memes surrounding that
gorgeously funny.
have been
Something I wanted to touch on actually a few minutes ago before I forget again is we started to touch on it, and I wanted to interject it, but the idea of you know, culture and social behavior and stuff, and how different cultures behave differently, and how the idea of quote acting white and being forced to quote act white, and how arguments I won't say my friend would make, but many on his side would, is that black conservatives are just acting white. They're just pretending to be something they're not, so as to assimilate and soften whatever tensions may be there. Well, that last part, whatever, forget that last part. But the idea that you're acting like something you're not, which let me tell you right now, I have forever acted like something that I'm not to get a job. Every job that I've ever gotten, I have pretended to get it to some degree. So I'm not sure how much validity that argument holds with this panel, but I've heard various versions of it from my friend.
So I
And I
want to
wanted,
jump in.
go ahead.
I must speak for myself. I'm not going to speak for every conservative. This is how I grew up. This is how I speak. I'm not trying to be anything I'm not. I mean, I've got crap for my whole life for, speaking the way I speak. And, carry myself the way I do. I mean, I when guys sometimes hit on me that are black, they're like, oh, you're not into black guys. And I'm not really for sure why they're like, I usually dress like in sweatpants and t-shirts. I'm not really for sure like where they get that from. But, and then when you're saying, so hold on.
So wait, so you have
What was the second part of what you just said?
wait. I want to clarify what I just heard from you. Are you saying that more of the black community has judged you based on the way that you speak and the way that you act and the things that you believe negatively than any other part of American life, right? Like is that,
yes?
I mean, fair to say, like
Mhm.
black dudes meet you and they're like, oh, you're not into black dudes, right? Because you don't
Fit the
speak in a
card.
certain what's that?
I don't fit the bill.
Oh shit.
Well,
That's
see,
embarrassing.
What was the second part? Because I really want to answer the whole thing.
I actually, at this point, I don't remember. I was trying to divert because I lost it too.
well,
It was,
one thing,
go ahead.
because since Coconut joined the chat, I just want to ask you, what did you think of Trump's speech?
Well, if I'm gonna give it my progatory analysis, this is what I'd have to say, and some critiques I could probably do on it. Overall, I think he was very strong. He hit all the target arguments that I wanted him to hit, but I do think he should have, sort of address what's, going on with the people in Congress right now and all the polling and all that stuff, because his opinions are very strong towards him and stuff like that. So seeing all these polls, it's, just like last year where, he was losing in almost every poll in every state, and then, people were somehow surprised when he won. I think it's going to be almost an exact replay of, last year. The Dems are doing exactly what they did last year and just being like, oh, he's not going to win the re-election. That's never going to happen. There's never going to be a Trump 2020. Watch it happen. This is where he starts to gain ground again. And this speech was a pivotal moment in him getting reelected. Because one, he wanted to make sure that was not, grandstanding. So he had only around an audience of about 1,000 people. He didn't want any more. He didn't want any less. He wanted to make sure that amphitheater actually knew what he was speaking about without him, booming in a loud stadium or an arena just about him. He wanted it to be specifically on that mountain, and he wanted to make a statement right there and there.
Well, oh, sorry, finish
Go
up.
ahead.
Oh, because
No,
it just gave me an idea, which is that, and I mentioned this earlier, when I saw the notification that he was going to be speaking at Mount Rushmore today, I thought, that's fucking perfect. The optics, the image of the president on 4th of July with a monument behind him, a monument of
Yeah,
American
one of our
greatness.
biggest.
Yeah, our biggest monument that's still standing and can't be torn down unless they go like, and fucking like Black Lives Matter rents a plane one day and
Shoves up the nose of George Washington.
yes.
Oh, they needed some dynamite. That's how they
Wasn't
made
there
the
a
thing.
Richie Rich episode of where they, climbed into Mount Ritchie and blew it up or something?
They're very.
And then all they found in there was like gold shoes.
I've
Yeah.
not seen that, but they're very well
Well,
may be.
Well,
Did you say Richie Rich?
Yeah.
well,
Holy shit.
Well, Coconut Head, I do know that Team America World Police
Yes.
have their headquarters inside Mount Rushmore.
Hey,
So-
I'm all for they're making the next national treasure right now. It's gonna be great. I bet it's gonna go back to Mount Rushmore, given all that circumstance. It's gonna be like uncovering a gem or something. It should be great, but
Wait,
yeah.
wait, they're still making those?
Yeah, they're making a National Treasure 3. The
Oh
sequel
yeah,
to
they
it.
are. That is true. Yes.
Yeah, along with the next Indiana Jones.
So what
Guys.
is what is
Guys,
Nicholas?
and Donnie. Go ahead,
So
go
what
ahead,
is-
Sam.
So what is Nicolas Cage trying to steal? His reputation back?
I don't know, but I'm all for it. I'll pay to go to the theater. I'm not afraid. I'm there for the whole entire shit show.
COVID won't stop you.
Exactly. I'll buy that movie theater if I have to just to sit in it.
yes.
Well, heck, they canceled Bond 26.
They can't
Uh,
cancel me.
Can't cancel Nick Cage.
I'm going to make them release
Where's the Nick
Bond
gang at?
26 for me. No, hey, I actually like Nicolas Cage, but I also like making fun of him too.
No
You can do
matter how
both,
stupid
so.
the movies are, I love them.
It's like one of
You
those
better
things.
bet when I was in Philadelphia next to Independence Hall, I was reenacting the first movie, I was getting all up there being like, ooh, I'm Nicolas Cage, trying to steal that, document and stuff. I was all about that life.
No, you need to. No. When you're in Philly, you gotta do the Rocky steps. That is what you have to do if you want to reenact a movie.
See, I
scene.
didn't go there. It was raining.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
I was
wouldn't
staying
fly.
downtown. I was staying downtown next to City Hall.
Oh, nice. I mean, I live like
I'm
20, 30 minutes away from Philly, so I've been there
Yeah, I
frequently.
didn't want to walk.
I'm
Nobody does want to walk there.
Sylvester Stallone to me is to Sylvester Stallone is to me as Nicolas Cage is to Coconut Head. I don't really care how many memes are made out of Sly. I fucking love him, and also talk about someone who in real life, kind of going back to Donnie's point, talk about someone who has actually had to face struggles and challenges in his life.
Yeah.
He and his brother both grew up poor. Like I don't think Sly had an education at all. He was basically like homeless when he wrote the Rocky screenplay, and he wrote that in 3 days and then pitched it to a studio because he was going to be like homeless or something. Like
Hey, it's all about beating meat in an icebox.
he
That's all you gotta do. Apparently. And climb some
Yeah.
steps.
And punch some meat.
Yeah.
yeah, and also drink some eggs too. So
Oh yeah. Well,
maybe chase some chickens. So
what I was saying though, till we went on like the longest and windiest tangent ever, there was Mount Rushmore and the optics of the speech. It was already perfect. The stage was set perfectly, but then he unveils, and this is the thing: Trump is best when he's doing action. And I will say, look, I love the guy, I work for the guy, but I think the country needs some big action from him. And I know with his poll numbers appearing to be going down, I'm not even gonna say they were like if support was
I
actually
don't buy
going
it.
up or down. Yeah, I don't buy him either.
It's
And-
China.
and I have a bunch of actually insights I'm gonna give in that in a
It
second.
is
But
China.
there is
Oh, yeah. Speaking of the Chi Coms, yeah, have a lot to say about them.
oh we'll get into the censorship soon. Speaking of Chi-Coms, but
TikTok.
the thing is with his like current state or perception of how he is, he needed to do something, some sort of action to kind of recharge the base, recharge the campaign, and re-energize. That's where I'm actually looking for. Re-energize the base, re-energize the campaign. This play was so perfect. It was on the 4th of July. It was with Mount Rushmore in the background, one of the greatest monuments in the world. And he announces he's going to make a national garden of American heroes. And apparently there's a list. I think you might see in Coconut Head in the CR chat
Yeah, I
of
saw
people.
it. It's beautiful.
This is like it says it's going to include, so I'm assuming it's not limited to. But I'm gonna read them off since you guys probably haven't seen it yet. John Adams, solid. Susan B. Anthony, solid. Clara Barton, solid. Daniel Boone, solid. Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain, Henry Clay, Davy Crockett, Frederick Douglass, Amelia Earhart, Benjamin Franklin, Billy Graham, Alexander Hamilton, Thomas Jefferson, Martin Luther King Jr., Abraham Lincoln, Douglas MacArthur, Dolly Madison, James Madison, Krista McLiffey. Actually, I haven't heard that one. Terrible. Audie Murphy, George Patton Jr., Ronald Reagan, Jackie Robinson, Betsy Ross, Antonin Scalia, Harriet Beecher Stowe, Harriet Tubman, Booker T. Washington, George Washington, and Orville and Wilbur Wright. That is American greatness. And that's what Trump has always, in my mind, symbolized: American greatness. A guy that became wealthy and gave back to the world, gave back to his country, has built great things, done great things, and is now president and is the ultimate form of giving back, sacrificed everything for the greater good of the country, and has embodied American greatness. America first, our manufacturing, our strength, our military, our culture, our history, everything. That's what he's all about, is American greatness. And this is better than a fucking presidential library. This is American greatness, and this is culture. To kind of tie everything back together, that's what I'm really clicking in here now, is that this is a cultural action right here. And that is what is critical about him, is that he's a cultural president, something we haven't seen probably since Reagan, really. And this is a bold, big move that is going to be
very
just. I mean, I don't think people realize how powerful this shit is yet.
It is, and the left's going to attack him and to disagree and be like, "Well, we should have these people on there, and these people, and these people, so they can stall it from taking a long amount of time for it to happen."
How much are you gonna
He's
bet
the
that they
most
want
culturally-
George Floyd in there? They're gonna want George Floyd in there.
That would
Oh,
be
yeah.
hilarious.
Dude, that would
I would-
listen. That would
I would be furious.
I would wear horns around my fucking neck and honk them every 30 seconds because I would submit to the Matrix at that point. This fucking clown world. Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say now.
Well,
My
Somebody
bad.
else say something.
Donnie, did you have
No, you're
anything more
good.
to say?
You good?
What was that?
Did you have something else to say? Because I heard another thought coming out there.
No,
Oh,
I said
no,
my
I think. Yeah, she apologized for,
That's what you
imaginarily interrupting me, which
Okay.
she didn't do. So.
How about then we transition into a contrast to American greatness, big tech. Which, look, these tech companies start off fantastic and have created fantastic things. But recently, I think little Sam's twin here has some things to say about it, to put mildly. So I'm going to give you the floor and just have at it.
Yes. So a couple of things I want to address here.
Oh boy.
You're not coming out of the closet, are you?
I'm
The silence there was
coming out.
deafening.
I'm coming out of the closet as a
Oh
proud
my god, that just broke me.
unapologetic American, as a Western chauvinist, as a straight white male
Oh, Jesus
who
Christ.
We already know you're straight.
Who's
who
who's
Do
cutting
we?
the cross?
who will not apologize for loving America.
Or women?
Or no, oh yeah, especially with women. No apologies, no apologies there. So
So now do we have
and
to punch you and like you have to name 5 cereals?
well, that's the other thing. So as many of you may know from my Twitter, from my Twitter status, I was Sam Whitfield has been banned from Discord permanently, and as his twin brother, I am speaking for him. What was he banned for? He was banned for targeted harassment, according to Discord, which when Sam emailed Discord about what that entailed, they couldn't give a specific, instance, but said, well, we already explained this to you in your, in the initial email we sent you. I was, or I should say, Sam was banned for merely being in a Discord that had Gavin McGinnis's name on it. Now, let me also say this, because I know that part of my audience doesn't like Gavin. Some people think Gavin is a grifter. We can debate Gavin.
How the fuck is
all
Gavin a grifter?
we can debate Gavin and the Proud Boys and all that some other day. I'm happy to do that. But we had a community of people from all around the world who are conservatives, who are patriots, who love America, who love the West, and who, more than that, like, all we would do in the Gavin McGinnis Discord was basically talk about like everyday life. It really wasn't even that political. It was, I mean, we had a political section, but more often than not, it was like, hey, how is your day going? Like how's work? Like we would talk like personal stuff on there. It was a place where people would, like share news of pregnancies and like starting families.
Well,
And
now
whatnot.
can you personally attest for every single post that happened in that Discord though?
I I
Just
cannot
to play the devil's advocate here.
I cannot of course I can't personally attest to
Of
every
course not.
single
Of course
post.
not.
And I will say, for the record, and as my friend Jimmy, who ran the Discord, as he had said on his YouTube channel, yes, we did have a few people who went alt-right and gripery, and who started to, do the whole, oh, was it really 6 million, thing,
6 gorillion.
which we all know, and I'm sorry, but we all know that that's Holocaust denial. Yes, the Holocaust did fucking happen. We all know it did. Which is the overall
Well, wait a minute.
point.
Now, if we dig up my Hitler Youth grandfather, he would disagree with you. But go ahead.
And I have no problem desecrating his corpse, because I'm pretty I'm pretty sure that my grandfather killed a couple of Nazis in the war. But
he might have killed my great grandfather. To be real.
but that aside, like, were there some troublemakers in that Discord? Yes, perhaps. the thing that galls me is that the admin team there did the best job of any admin team I can think of in like making sure that we followed the terms of service, making sure that we were in the clear. But at the end of the day, it wasn't good enough because
Well, no, it won't be. It won't be, especially now, because I mean, it's from Stefan Molyneux to Gavin McGinnis to fucking to Mr. Medicare's good friend on Twitter, Mr. Anti-Bully, who's been on Twitter for a very long time. Finally got banned, and he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't say anything inflammatory or derogatory, but he has been challenging a lot of narratives for a long time, and pushing out, lesser known info on various topics. So that can't be had, I mean, I think, excuse me, I really do think that we're just getting started on all of this stuff. I think that the first platform, Parler, is a fucking honeypot if I've ever seen or heard of a honeypot. Fuck Parler. The first D Live, or you know what, the first Stream.me that comes back out and grows off of a platform of actual free speech and actual go ahead. Somebody's got something to say.
Sorry, my mic's sensitive.
Oh, okay. No, that sounded like you were like, no, it's not true. No.
But no, I don't think it's true. What, Sam not being straight? Yeah, it's definitely not true. Damn it! Oh, I'm kidding.
I'm only gay for Apex Gamma and Johnny Arcade.
Oh shit!
The secret is
out. One-way street, Sammy. It's a one-way street that only your wheels travel. All right.
Well, I do have some disagreements on Parler, but I'll explore that later. I'll let Sam keep going down this Discord rabbit hole.
Well, so here's what I will say too. I'm actually going to create like a. Let's see. So here's the thing with the whole Gavin McGinnis Discord, right? I do want to answer a few questions that I've gotten over the past couple weeks on Twitter, and I've done a couple videos on this, but a lot of people have asked if Gavin was actually in the Discord, and the question is, and the answer to that question is sort of. Gavin, I mean, so the Discord was not started by Gavin at all. It was started by Jimmy, aka Hajim, who has been on my program before. Jimmy is from Great Britain. He's 22 or 23 now, I think. He was 22 when I first met him. He basically likes to chain smoke and drink Stella Artois because he's a badass like that, and he loves Jimmy is British, and he loves America more than most Americans love America, at least on the left for sure. But he's the one who started the Discord, and he was also a mod on r/Gavin McGinnis before that got banned. So the Gavin McGinnis Discord wasn't like started by Gavin or Ryan. It was completely independent. So we were all in there. And in fact, today would have been the 1-year anniversary of the Gavin McGinnis Discord if it were still online. And oh, go ahead.
Good. No, I was just gonna say my personal opinion on this most recent wave of censorship goes hand in hand with all of the corporate fucking fallen lockstep with Black Lives Matter and diversity, inclusion task forces. My incredibly rural and Christian-based company have started. Well, first of all, they just swapped CEOs at the beginning of this year to some fucking idiot that's been in like 7 other companies, like every other goddamn CEO in corporate America. I think he worked for Walmart or something before. But anyway, now we literally have diversity and inclusion training. I got that, believe it or not, in the deep south of Texas as a little kid by my parents in my community. I know what diversity means. I know what inclusion means. I know what not judging fucking people means. I don't need the people that pay me to tell me how to treat people. Just like I don't need the company that I work for telling me that I have to inhibit my oxygen intake because I don't show any symptoms, and I've verified legally twice that I don't show any of those symptoms, nor have I interacted with anybody that does. You know, it all speaks to the same thing. Corporate America is the biggest disease, in my opinion, on American society. Not all of it as a whole, obviously, but the deep tendrils that that run deep. And I mean, you could call it all many things. Some would, in some communities would call it Jewish. Some would call it Soros. Some would call it white supremacist. Some would call it other things that I can't think of off the top of my head. But there's a top-down, what do you call it? It's not discrimination. It's oppression. That's what it is. It's a top-down oppression from an elite that nobody can really put their finger on. I mean, it really comes down to money and control of it. But
the other thing too is, I want to make this clear too. The Gavin McGinnis Discord was in no way affiliated with the Proud Boys either.
That was the point, actually. That was the point, actually, that I was trying to make. I think this current wave of banning goes hand in hand with this support, this widespread support of Black Lives Matter by corporate America, and every fucking tendril of it. They're scared. They don't want their shit burned down. They don't want the fucking angry mobs coming for them, but they also, want to be socially aware and active for the youth.
I don't think this has anything to do with Proud Boys, really. I think it's just, look, Discord, of all, first of all, I want to make clear, Discord's a fantastic platform. It's the best communication app out there, and they have been okay with the banning.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that is the problem. Is that all the best platforms eventually have the worst speech policies? But the thing is, Discord, the only time they ever did a big purge before this was after Charlottesville. They banned Identity Europa and a bunch of our white nationalists, white supremacists, white identitarian accounts and servers. Now, do I think those people should be banned? No, I think we should allow all types of speech, no matter how ugly it is, so that people can be exposed to it and change people's minds. But the point is, they actually did target who they say they were going to target at that time. It wasn't like with Twitter where they're like, not Twitter, but these other groups, they'll be like, Milo's a white nationalist, Milo's a white supremacist, ban him. Or Candace Owens is a white supremacist, ban her. It's not these ridiculous, like, fake Nazis. Like, they found and banned people that did believe this crazy shit. But recently, they're doing guilt by association is what it seems like for me. And that's a big problem. Is because it does sound like a lot of groypers, a lot of white supremacist nationalists did infiltrate the Gavin server, stuck around too long. That's the vibe I'm getting, even if it was only like 1% of the server. But Discord goes, oh, they're white supremacists in here, let's ban the whole server. That's what my take is.
Well, and to that, and because Sean, you brought up a good point, and I want to focus on that real quick. Yes, we did have some trouble. We did have troublemakers, and the admin team fucking banned all of them. Like, we were, like, the admins were doing a good job of policing their own server and making sure that we were within the terms of service. You know, like there were people. Now here's the really scary thing. And I mentioned this in videos before, but they did not ban a few people who were in the server. They banned the entire server. Not only that,
Yeah,
but
that makes sense.
I confirmed today. Believe it or not, that they actually banned accounts that had left the Gavin McGinnis Discord prior to it being
That's
banned.
again that just, to me, that just speaks to exactly what I was saying. That is just the fear response of this overwhelming or apparently overwhelming cultural movement.
So
right
Sean,
now.
I mean, I hate to say this, but I hope you have a backup Discord account, because I know I invited you. I know you weren't active in the GMD very much, but yeah, make sure your backup account is ready.
I actually do have a backup one, which is a nice thing too. Even if you do get banned from Discord, unlike Twitter, you can create another account. With Twitter, when you're banned, you're gone forever. You cannot come back on the platform.
I really do think, though, man, that this is just going to evolve. Like, this shit is going to get oppressive, and people with the ability and a little bit of capital are going to raise more capital, and they're going to start a better platform based more on the foundation. And then guess what? In 10 years, that fucking company is going to be exactly where Twitter is, exactly where Discord is right now, and then a new one is going to start. That's the American way.
I don't think so for the cases of Twitter and Facebook, because those have gotten so big. I mean, the number of users
that's true.
there
that's true.
is astronomical. Parler is by far the best, has the best chance of an alternative, but Parler still looks like it's in the beta phase. It still doesn't have trending hashtags. It feels very empty. But the bright sides I do see is that it is not just banned people on there. You have Ted Cruz on there. You have Rudy Giuliani. You have a bunch of really big names. Eric Trump, Brad Parscale. Like, it has really big names on there. They were at CPAC. I think I mentioned this before. I got one of their tote bags. Somebody's clearly funding Parler. They've clearly got some good connections and persuade people to get on board. Too.
And look, as someone who also is a technical writer, or rather majoring in technical writing, I know a bit about apps, and yes, I know that Parler has bugs, and I know that Parler has flaws, and believe me, they're well aware of it. Yeah. But they're working. I think they're working out the kinks. This is like, Parler now is what Twitter is like, and is like what Twitter was like back in 2007.
It does
have those early Twitter vibes. Who's read the terms of service though? Like, forget about the app, forget about the interface, the actual terms of service. Have you read those?
Yes.
Okay.
I have read those, and it's pretty much like a free speech platform, except for, and I mean, I know that some people won't like this, and honestly, I think there's a specific reason why they're doing this, but the terms of service is like, you can't dox people, you can't do all that, but they also say you can't post like porn, and
you post porn. You can post porn on Twitter.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can post porn on Twitter. Let me pull up Parler's terms of.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Why don't you do that? And specifically their their privacy and their I don't know what it would be called, but they're specifically their freedom of speech area of the terms of service. I can't quote it because I read it like 2 days ago.
See, the only way I do see Parler have any success is if if Trump moves on to it. It will only take Trump, he would have to fully migrate there. And the problem is he's not going to do it because he has no reason to do it. He has zero reasons to do it. On Twitter, he has, 80 million followers now? Why would he move to a platform where he can't reach people to reelect him and to see his messages?
Yeah, no way.
It's like, that's the problem with these alternatives that I have to say, I think all these alternatives are a waste of time. They're good in the short term, but I think they're ultimately a waste of time. Because, for example, Laura Loomer has almost like 500,000 or over 500,000 followers on Parler, which is amazing. Like, amazing. And she's keeping her campaign rolling on there. And I got to touch on her, too, because there's a really crazy bands happening with her. Actually, I will touch on that because that proves my point, which is that Facebook and Twitter are here to stay for quite a while. They have a lot of people on it, and it is where you tap into audiences, and it is where influence happens. You don't believe me? Facebook just banned anyone, for posting a Laura Loomer ad. You cannot advertise for the Laura Loomer campaign on Facebook at all. They know, because the Trump campaign did this, and future campaigns will do this. Facebook has a sophisticated targeting algorithm where you can specifically target ads to people and get people to come out and vote for you. It is used that way in the current year, and that's what Laura Loomer could easily do and could easily win her election through that. But they are banning anyone from running her ads. That is another level here. It just keeps getting worse. And I think the only way true regulation will happen is if everybody gets banned. And what I mean by that is...
That's an interference in an election, though.
It is, yeah. Because her opponent has everything. It's not, a fair playing field. But this is what Milo said when he came on our radio show back in 2019. Man, my timeline's off. 2019. And I totally agree with him. Is we need accelerationism here. We need Ben Shapiro banned. We need Dave Rubin banned.
It's coming. Listen, let me tell you.
It's not.
No, believe me. I actually heard that a Ben Shapiro Discord got banned today.
A Discord is one thing, but we need Ben Shapiro's Twitter account banned. We need Joe Rogan banned on YouTube, which was kind of coming.
And believe me, I think it is going to come. Here's why. Because the left is going so far left that it's not going to be good enough to have someone like Joe Rogan who wants to have a discussion with the other side. Or, I mean, hell, Black Lives Matter hates Israel. Do you think they're really going to allow Ben Shapiro, Super Jew, to exist?
I think it is possible
for very
he
long.
could get banned, but I don't think it's highly likely because he doesn't trigger people. He really doesn't. He used to, but now he really doesn't. You get people that actually piss people off. There is then because those are the really effective people. That's when you get people like Oliver Darcy advocating to Twitter directly to ban Alex Jones.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean, Sean. But at the same time, at least I didn't think I pissed people off until a few days ago when some people were like, "Good, you should have been banned off Discord. I hope they take your Twitter next." So,
well, see, look, and that's what I'm saying. Is what you're saying is definitely possible. I just don't think it's going to happen. I mean, it will eventually happen because here's the thing. I think it can eventually happen because once you get rid of the I don't want to call them even edgy because they're not really like edgy, but like I guess you say the edgier types like Gavin and Mile. Once you get rid of them, who's left? And
the edgiest are still on there though. That's the crazy fucking thing too.
But they're not. But nobody cares about them. See, that's the thing. It's
right.
It's gotta be people that
right, yeah.
So, but then once you get rid of, like, the effective people, who are you left with? Like, you're left with a lot of boring people, and you're left with a lot of people that, like, just
Glow
tiny,
in the
at
dark.
small moments will, like, go over the line a little or approach the line a little bit. Those people will then become extremists in some people's eyes, and I think they will go. But I think it's going to take a long time, though, and that's what I'm afraid of. But at the same time, kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, with some people on the right going more radical, I don't think these people like Ben Shapiro are going to look radical enough anytime soon for the mob to go after it. And that's,
Bullshit.
you know,
Because is equivalent as the right is moving to the extreme, or maybe even exponentially more so, the left is moving to their extreme.
What?
So,
What?
Let's well, young white kids are like, oh shit, maybe I am a white supremacist. There's, I'm not gonna go there. I don't want to put color on. I'm just saying, like, young people of every race and creed are splitting themselves based on these emotional, uh, you know, false realities right now,
apparently
and
Kimberly
it's
Guilfoyle
very
just,
real.
sorry to interrupt, but breaking news: Kimberly Guilfoyle, Donald Trump Jr.'s girlfriend, has tested positive for coronavirus.
Uh. Oh
F's in the
shit.
chat, y'all.
F. I.
It's CNN,
No,
so.
hey guys, I don't mean to like cut this off, but I personally have got a dip. I got to work in just a few hours actually.
Oh,
So
okay. No
That
problem.
thanks for
that
having me on as usual. Thanks for talking, Donnie, Dexter, Coconut, uh, Sammy's good friend. Y'all have a wonderful evening and a
Sammy.
happy fourth. A happy fourth if I don't talk to you guys.
Yeah.
Sammy
All
will.
right, be
Sammy.
safe.
Yeah.
Sammy will give you a call tomorrow, Apex. That's what he wants
God,
me. That's what he wants
God
me to
bless
tell you.
America, and God bless all of you. Have a great night.
All right. So, um, where were you in the Discord story? Is there any more to the story?
Oh yeah. There's not really too much more to the Discord story, but there's a lot more to the story itself, I guess. The so basically now we have like an alternative. There is a Discord alternative that we're on. I don't want to really, reveal what it is publicly, but there is an alternative like Discord like server that one of the members is actually hosting like on his own personal server that he has on his own because we have a few IT like people in the group.
Could you DM me the
Which
name to me so I can look into it?
Yeah, I will. Heck, I'll send you links to a bunch of
Okay.
uh stuff.
Cool. Thanks. Have they looked into
What you should
Telegram by chance?
uh no, no, but I will tell them about I mean, there are a bunch of people who know what Telegram is, but I will certainly bring that up. I mean, the thing of it is Discord like has a very unique layout, and I mean, this is pretty similar
Mm-hmm.
to Discord, but um, I guess the bigger point is like there were people who like weren't even fans of Gavin who just came into the Discord server because hey, like I'm John's friend, or like I'm so and so's friend, and I'm a conservative, too, basically. So like the the thing it is like people are like, oh well, you wouldn't have gotten banned if you weren't in Gavin's server, and it's like, well, that's not the point. The point is like Discord basically can now ban people, with impunity and not even give people like a good reason why now. So, and say what you will about YouTube, but at least YouTube gives you like warnings and stuff before they ban you.
That's the thing I
So,
don't like is when you break some sort of guideline and they don't give you a warning. They don't do strikes. They just ban you and you're done. That to me is kind of unfair, because while I know ignorance is no excuse to break the law. Yeah. But with these online platforms with super long ULAs that nobody reads, with lots of rules, they're very complicated. I think it is only fair to at least give one warning.
Well, yeah, and specifically too, it's like so what they said. Basically, the email that I got and that everyone else in the Discord got simultaneous was, "You're being banned because of targeted harassment of individuals or groups." Okay.
Was it over the stuff you might have said about Owen?
No, not at all.
Hmm.
I mean, that would make sense if it that would make sense if it were just me, but we're talking 500 to 1,000 people were all banned for
Was
like.
Jimmy banned?
Oh yeah, not only is Jimmy banned, but Jimmy is IP banned as well.
Ooh, what do you mean by that?
Because here's the thing. So we knew that the ban was coming once excuse me, sorry about that.
Once you got
We
the
knew that
coronavirus, we knew the ban was coming.
we knew that the ban was coming once the George Floyd thing happened, because Discord did that whole, we want the community to be, more safe and inclusive, right? Like, we knew it was coming because of Gavin, right? So the Gavin McGinnis Discord got nuked about a week ago, right? So Jimmy basically had like a backup Discord template waiting in the background, and he invited us to the second Discord. And within like about another 4 days, that was when the second ban happened, and that's when they banned all of our accounts, not just Jimmy, which he was shocked by. I'm actually going to. Can you can you play audio of video
Yes.
on
Yep.
with your setup?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to send you Jimmy's video about this, because he will sum it up better probably than I can. If you don't mind watching and sitting through it for the audience. So
How long is it?
it's like 5 or 10 minutes. It's not like that long.
Yeah, if it's 5 minutes, I'll play the whole thing. If it's 10, I'll play like a little bit of it. 'Cause
Yeah,
we're gonna have to
I
close
mean,
out somewhat soon. Because I have to admit, this job I've been doing now, which you are all well aware of, it's pretty grueling. I actually have to do work on the weekends too, so I can't stay up too late.
oh yeah, that's true. For the folks listening to the Whitfield Report stream, yeah, Sean is a busy boy these days. So
I'm working
um,
to save Western civilization.
yeah, and
Aren't we all?
you're actually
Hey, I'm getting
you're
paid
actually
for it though.
you're actually doing it, as opposed to people who are like sitting behind a keyboard yelling, "Oh, cringe, cringe, no
Cringe,
e-girls."
bro.
So
No, yeah, I'll come out of the closet. I am working for the Trump campaign right now, as a field organizer, in a county near me. So basically, my job really is to get volunteers, to get out the vote. So I'm not exaggerating when I say trying to save the fucking West here. And I will say
sent
one
you the
thing.
video.
Okay, yeah, I'll pull that up. One thing I will say, because I alluded to this earlier, which is like when people talk about all of the the polls and Trump's down, he's in trouble, he doesn't want to win. I'll tell you something right here. that will give some actual objectivity to all these analyses, which is that the only number we have so far that is objective is the primary turnout numbers on June 2nd. Oh, sorry, that was Pennsylvania's, but all the primaries we've had. And President Trump has been killing it. He's had record turnout for every single primary, and in some he's been beating the turnout Obama had. Okay, he's been getting the most votes of any Republican ever again. The enthusiasm is high for him, but is it enough? I don't know. I really don't know. I tend to think it is.
None of us do at this point.
Yeah, none of us really do, because we don't know how the Democrats are going to cheat their way across the finish line, potentially. We don't know how they're going to try and do that. We don't know what else is really going on. So when you see these poll numbers, just remember, that's kind of how they were in 2016. I'm going to pull up this video by Jimmy, though, but that's just my take.
And then what I typed below, that's the service that we're using now.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay, I'm going to play a little bit of this video because it is 10 minutes, and I want to make sure you tell more about this and we dive into all these other stories real quick. We might even do another stream tomorrow night, I'm not sure, because my two co-hosts haven't been here, which is sad. But I'm going to play this video right now.
Yeah. And I'll fill in some of the gaps, but basically, like, here's what, basically, I'll let Sean play a bit of this, and then I'll fill in some of the gaps, too. So.
Okay.
But here's Jimmy. This is the guy who made the Discord. So, and I actually had him on the Whitfield Report to talk about this very thing on Monday of this week, right before I got banned. So.
Goes way beyond Gavin. It goes way beyond Trump.
Yeah, you guys won't be able to hear, but I am playing it right now.
He would go on there sometimes, and we're not calling to arms here. You know, sure, we talk about politics and make jokes and stuff like that, but are we not allowed to do that? Is it because we're right wing or conservative, and they truly believe that they can just, with a click of a button, shut down an entire community? Well, you know, I have bad news for these kinds of people. You can't shut down an entire community. Sure, you can kick us off your platform, fine, but the community and the friendships have already been solidified. That's not something you can just take away with the click of a button. You fat fucking frumpy pink-haired feminist cunt bag at Discord HQ. You know, kick us off the platform, fair enough. And I received this email, which is just complete horseshit. This was all I got. Hello, Discord is focused on maintaining a safe and secure environment for our community, and your account has been flagged by the Discord community for violations of our terms of service and community guidelines. Now, there are many people who will tell you we on the GMD actually enforced Discord's terms of service because we knew that we would be a target just simply by association of the name Gavin McInnes. So we had to do what we thought was best in terms of keeping the longevity of the server going, keeping it up, by saying, look, you know, well, you might not like our politics, or you might not like...
Okay, pause real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the exact same email I got.
Yep. Yeah, that's now I know, because I remember when I first saw it, I thought you just got put in timeout because of the way they worded it when they said you were flagged, and I'm like, maybe he's not really banned, but now that I see he got the same email, I am pretty confident that you were legit banned.
Yeah, that was definitely the case. I mean, and like I said, it was, the thing is too is, like, when I got banned, I wasn't even in the Gavin McInnes Discord. I was in one of my non-political Discords just talking to someone, and I'm pretty sure that they got, you know, I'm pretty sure that whoever that person is, they think I ghosted them or something. So, and that's the sucky thing is now there are a whole bunch of other communities that I can't even get in contact with anymore. That I've lost touch with completely. So because I don't have links to any of the other discords and whatnot. But
I think also too is I wonder. Well, I wonder a bunch of things with this. Number one is that what was the reason really for being banned? What was the comment that really banned that got this sort of banned? And that's what I don't like about a lot of this is that they never really tell you. Twitter never really tells you these things.
They won't, and believe me, I asked them because basically when they sent me that email that they sent back, I basically I replied, I sent them an email to their to their trust and safety team saying, how hi, I was mistakenly, banned. I never targeted or harassed anyone. Please consider restoring my account. And basically, so I sent that, and then the next morning I woke up and got an email saying, hi, we've reviewed your account, we're upholding it. More information was included in your previous email about the reason why you were banned. And it's like, no, it wasn't. You gave me a generic, copy paste thing that you sent out to everyone. And that's what pisses me off most of all, is they didn't even have the courtesy of telling me what specifically I did that was wrong. They just gave me a generic reason and then banned me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that pissed me off too. It just seems like some corporate, email that was just auto-generated. And I understand it, but you gotta, when you do something as serious as a ban, you need to explain to people why they were banned. Or at least let, you can get a reason. But I would just keep pushing them. I demand you tell me. Just keep going off on them. Keep pressuring them. And see if they come up with something. And I don't know if you can, I don't want to say sue them, but, if there's some way to hold them account for that, that'd be nice. Because it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it would be. And honestly, Sean, I'd love to get you Jimmy's contact info because he's been on the Whitfield Report thrice now. And I think he'd be a really fascinating guest for you guys to get on, on Versa. But how you guys do the interview, because I know you guys use Discord, that's gonna be a tricky one because he literally can't use Discord anymore.
Or we can do Skype or other things. I always have alternatives. I just prefer Discord because it has the best audio quality. And that's the thing that sucks, is I don't think there's anything that's audio quality as close as this.
Well, we did use Zoom the other day and that worked fine, but I know how you feel about Zoom and I know how I feel about Zoom.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, fucking Chinese spyware.
But yeah, and he also got banned off Twitter 2 years ago for supporting Brexit because he said that he's a proud supporter of the West. That's all he said, and Twitter permabanned him.
Jesus.
So. And Shovel Point, he is the next Mark Stein. So I will tell him he said that too.
He's keeping away from the question. Didn't he ask what she's...
one thing I will note, because I do see at the end of this video here, did this all start when after Gavin did that Discord AMA?
Yes.
I wonder if they probably saw stuff in there, because he had the whole screen behind him. I think it might have been that. There might have been something somebody said there that really got to them.
You should take a-
Genetically.
Oh,
He's a woman.
yeah.
You're not gonna hit a woman.
Oh
And I say,
yeah,
no, you can hit a woman if she spits in your
I'll
face,
bring that
especially
up. That's actually
it's
a
a dude.
really good
Anyway,
point.
the TLDR
So,
of
and
all
that
this
was
is,
I had actually brought that up to you know, to Jimmy too. That I wish Ryan hadn't projected the whole entire Discord, you know, like screen on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. Well, and that was why we clamped down so much too on, like, you know, like you guys can't joke around as much, you know. So, but you know, I mean, yeah, it sucks, but you know, I'll survive. You know, hopefully they don't, you know, take my Twitter account next, although I'm sure that will get taken
It'll
eventually.
happen at some point. You know.
So,
That's the thing, is they go after smaller people now, like us. It's not just the big AAA celebrities. But one thing I will also mention too, like I mentioned the Loomer ban, but Carpe Dunktum. I never pronounced that right. I met him at CPAC too. He was banned from Twitter, which is where that was his
Yep.
place where he'd post pro-Trump memes. Trump's favorite meme maker, the meme maker in chief himself, Carpe, has a huge following. He's visited the White House. Big sensation. They banned him for copyright infringement, which is one of the craziest things because everything he does is parody, which falls under fair use. So I hope he sues them for that. And then, you know, now he's on Parler, which we're gonna kill him. But he's also on Band.video, which is Alex Jones's video platform, so that'll be cool. So when he does his like podcast show, it'll be on there. And the other big bans were Stefan Molyneux. He was banned from YouTube. He had like almost 1 million subs or something, I think. Big show on there, big following. Gone. So many videos gone. And so the people that got hit were Loomer, Stefan, Sam. I feel like I'm forgetting another one. But those are the ones coming top of my head. Carpe, that's the other one. Carpe, yeah. All in the past week, really. Big purge.
It's kind of like when you know the rules have been, y'all broke the rules and you're about to pay the consequences. So you're like, let me break all the rules I possibly can before I pay the consequences. Maybe that's what it is. Because, you know, Trump put that order in, the executive order.
Oh, yeah, the Article
Yeah.
230. Well, see, here's the thing, is like Facebook, oddly, is kind of careful with what they say and do. Because I know at the end of the day, these tech companies, as reckless as they are right now, and maybe it's not even reckless because they can get away with this shit, they do not want to be regulated at all. They really don't.
right, but then Mark Zuckerberg will pull the trick of, oh, we don't censor conservatives. I met with Glenn Beck, you know,
Oh, God.
and
That's why I hate people like fucking like Romney or something, or McCain or George Bush, where it's like these conservatives that the left likes. Like, if the left likes you, you're doing something fucking wrong, okay? And if you pride yourself on that, you're really doing something wrong. It's one thing to be bipartisan, but like this ass kissing where it's like, oh look, I'm the decent conservative that talks to the lefties at Facebook and they like me. Oh my god, I'm so great. No, nobody likes you. It's like that fucking linking project. The only people that like that are Biden supporters because they do anti-Trump ads. They don't win any voters or supports. It's just a fucking grift. I hate using that term
Yeah,
grift,
I
but
can't stand them.
yeah,
well,
it's
see,
so fake.
here's the thing. If I were in a position to, I would go down to Facebook. I would visit with Mark Zuckerberg. I would shake his hand. I would be courteous, but I would also, you know, like sit down with him and be like, look, you know, I'm here because this is what's happening. I know that you talked with Glenn Beck, but you're not talking to Glenn Beck, you're talking to me now, and here's what's going on, and here's what needs to change. So,
Well, the thing is, they never, and this kind of stretches to a lot of things. The conservative people actually like and follow tend to be the really authentic ones, and they don't really get these nice connections and these nice little trips and meetings that they deserve. But I see, like, I would be nice to Mark Zuckerberg at first too. I'd give everybody a fair shot when I meet them, but if he doesn't hear me out and doesn't treat me fairly, like, then it's war. And I think that's the problem too, is that these conservatives think you can just be nice to them and they'll listen, but they don't. You can try that at first, but we've learned it does not work. And that's unfortunate, because that would be the nice way to settle things, but that's not the world we live in. It's like but certain things like Black Lives Matter, it's like, do you really think you're going to get anywhere with those people? Do you really think you are? No, you're not. So don't even bother wasting your time. Just plow forward, stand up for what you believe in, and strongly stand up for it and go on the offensive.
Yep. I mean, listen, I definitely think that there is a place for decency.
Yeah.
And whatnot. And look, I also, here's another thing I want to say about the Discord ban too. There are lots of decent liberals out there, not leftists, but liberals out there who when they heard about my Discord ban, they're like, "That's crazy. You're a nice guy. You shouldn't have gotten banned from Discord." And I told them, I'm like, well, I'm glad you feel it. I'm glad you feel that way, but this is the problem. This is the radical left. And I mean, I hate to say it, but it's going to come down to I hate to use this term, but liberals standing up against the left, if that makes sense, and advocating for conservatives. And believe me, they won't. But the left is going to come after the liberal too eventually. If you're not far left enough, they're going to come after you.
Well, they've already been doing that. I mean,
Yeah.
look at AOC. She goes after Nancy Pelosi for not going far left enough. And look, I actually respect her for it because she gets results. She gets something out of it. It's not results I want, but it is results she wants, and she fucking gets them. And that's, again, I think that's a lesson we should learn, is that if somebody's not, and that's what Trump kind of does, is like when somebody's not towing the line, he goes after him, he fires them, he boots them. Don't blame him for it for a second, because that's what you need now. There was a time when that was not needed, but this time, we do need that. And I think also too, it's like, that's why I want people like Loomer in Congress, because she'd be that way. And people gotta look. I'll tell you some insight from my job too. I mean, I feel like look, I know people are busy. I know people have a lot on their plates and they have a lot at stake, but conservatives need to have a bit more of a fight in them. I think Trump has helped awaken that, but I think we still need a lot more. I think we still need people, for example, like with Laura Loomer, she's banned on everything, but her supporters should be out there sharing her stuff on Facebook all the time. They should be breaking through the censorship by being her voice. You're on these platforms, so you should help her out. And I just don't see enough of that. And I don't see people going out of their way to do these things. It's like, it's kind of, it almost seems like some people just don't care that much enough. And I understand that maybe it's not going to be a priority or the thing, it's going to be on your mind all the time, but there needs to be some effort.
Yep. No, I completely agree with you. And it's it's very kind of poetic that all this censorship happened this week of of Independence Day, because it's like, well, we're celebrating Independence Day, but are we really independent? Now, like, I hate to sound black-pilled, but it's it's kind of got me thinking, like, we are, yes, like, the government might not be tyrannical, but now all these corporations, you know, are basically the ones regulating free speech. And, you know, we've seen what they've done now to even the small guys. So
Scott Adams had a great quote about that, actually, kind of. He said on Twitter the other day, Republicans only have free speech on election day. Think about that. You don't
yeah,
have it
it's
in your
true.
workplace. You don't have it online. You don't have it in the public square. You don't even have sometimes have it in your own household. But on election day, when it's just you, just a ballot, and a pen, you have your free speech. It's brief, but man, it counts.
Yo.
Alex, is that you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're late to the party.
Yeah, I end up sleeping.
Yeah, I'm gonna close out soon, but did you see Trump's speech?
No, I didn't see what's going on with
Well. He made a bold move. Now, I'll give a quick. I want to get your takes on everything before we close out. In regards to tech censorship too, but he started off the day announcing that he would be doing a 4th of July celebration speech at Mount Rushmore. This is amidst all these statues and monuments being torn down, so he's going to have a speech at a monument that's still up, shining beautifully of our founding fathers, its American greatness. And during his speech, he announces that he will be signing an executive order to create a national garden of American heroes, which will feature statues of American heroes. So while Black Lives Matter is tearing down monuments, Trump is building them. It's on brand. He's a builder. He's built hotels, casinos, golf courses, building a wall. Now he's going to build monuments, and he came out with a list, and it's got people like John Adams on there, MLK, the Wright brothers, Ronald Reagan, Antonin Scalia, Thomas Jefferson, Hamilton, a lot of good names on there. So he's going to be doing that. And I personally think this is a great way to re-energize the base and to make a good cultural move. What's your take?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Now, did the speech and stuff go down? Did the fireworks go down without a hitch, or was there like any sort of issues during that?
Nope, it seemed to be fine. They did the fireworks, and they were beautiful behind the monument. There was music too. We were watching it here, so it went smoothly. I mean, the only thing that was really happening was the wind was blowing, so kind of ruffled the flags in the background, his hair a bit, but not much.
Yeah, because I kept seeing like advertisements. So they're complaining that like this was going to be in South Dakota where they didn't require social distancing.
Yeah, well, see, that's a good thing too. Is he packed the place? Like 10% of the audience were wearing masks, and well, some people on like CNN were afraid like the fucking like fireworks would start forest fires, which is pretty stupid because they've done fireworks here for like 30 years.
Yeah, that's what I saw too. Like there was an advisory about like the because it didn't rain or anything relatively recently, but I figured they'd probably have expert like pyrotechnic people to pay attention to that junk.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's been good because like honestly, I've been a little bit concerned. Just as a kind of an outsider looking in, and ever since I lost access to like Facebook, it's been just like tough getting actual news that isn't like heavily like really on that's like unbiased or whatnot, because like that's one thing I was using Facebook for. I would use it for news almost, so that's probably not the way you should use it, but like just the amount of people I followed, it gave me like I had a pretty good idea what was going on around here, so I had to go and like set up like RSS feeds to get anything like semi decent. But I just kept seeing people before this, they were complaining, they were saying like Trump's not in it and all that stuff, and like I'm glad to see that, you know, it looked like it went out pretty good. He packed it and all that stuff.
I think this really re-energized his base. It was a perfect way to do it on 4th of July with the monument, the great American monument of our founders in the background. He announces he's going to build more monuments. I mean, he did what he needed to do. I mean, I am really impressed at how perfect it was. Because it surprised me. I didn't expect him to come out with this bold action. And then when he said it, I was like when I was watching it live, I literally went, what? And it was perfect. Because I'll admit, look, we all know what my job is. And I know on the ground, there's a lot of support for him. I know that the turnout has been big in the primaries. But he was down in a lot of polls. It does give the perception that, hey, maybe there's some more work to do. And maybe there wasn't. I don't know. I really don't know. Because he was down this much before in the polls in 2016. But if there is anything that will increase his poll numbers, it's fucking this. And if it doesn't, then the polls are total bullshit.
Yeah, no, like that's just kind of the thing that was like scaring me. It's like I really don't know what to, you know, what to believe sometimes, because you know, like even some people on the right were starting to go and like have issues. But you know, I saw this happen before too. Like in 2016, people like even on the right, they were saying like, oh, you know, Trump should have stepped down. You know, they would have had a chance. You know, one libertarian person I used to know, he was like, oh, you guys screwed up by electing Trump as the nominee. But you know, they were dead wrong.
That's the other thing is, remember in 2016 they were also saying Trump doesn't want to win. He's self-destructing. This is what he doesn't really want it. I mean, Howard Stern says it like all the time. I'm like, I don't really buy that.
Yeah, neither do I. Like, I don't know. Howard Stern's really kind of done a lot of things in the recent years that I don't agree with, like just giving Hillary Clinton softball stuff and whatnot. But like, I don't know. I heard that they were doing some more stuff at Obamagate recently with like
Howard Stern believes that he's the reason why Trump is popular, and it's like
he believes it about everyone now, you know.
Yeah, and it's like no, dude, like that's another point that Gavin brought up the other day that I agree with. Like, Howard Stern thinks that because he was the king of the radio or whatever back in the 90s, you know, that like he made everyone famous. Okay, maybe he made Jenna Jameson famous, like by bringing her from porn to the mainstream. Maybe. But even then, probably not.
Here's the thing: is he does have the potential to make people famous. Like, if let's say nobody knew who Billie Eilish was, and he brings her on his show, which he did do, he could have made her famous right there if nobody knew who she was before. But people did know who she was, and she came on his show, and it probably helped record sales. But that's it.
Well, Howard Stern is jealous of Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan is what Joe Rogan now is what Howard Stern was back in the 90s.
He took
right?
his throne.
I think that's a fairly safe assumption to make. Everyone who knows who Joe Rogan is, once people go on Joe Rogan's show, like Donnie will in the future, you know, people are gonna know who Donnie is.
Yeah, no, I think that he absolutely like what's his face, like Joe Rogan, like he's just way eclipsing him. And the thing like that Howard Stern's done too is like he made it so people can't even really listen to him anymore because he signed that exclusivity deal with Sirius XM. Like, not that many people actually have that, you know.
And that's unfortunately the problem that many on the right are starting to face. Like, Gavin, Milo, and a bunch of other people are behind paywalls now. And I get why they have to do it. I totally get it. But it does come at a cost of exposure. One thing I wanted to get your take on too, Alex, was the big tech censorship we've seen over this week. We had Carpe Dunkum, the guy who makes all the Trump memes, that Trump tweets out a lot, banned on Twitter. Now he's on Parler and Band.video. We have Stefan Molyneux, banned from YouTube. I don't know where I think he's just going to put stuff on his website now, freedomainradio.com. And, who's the other one? Shit, there's another big one. Oh, Loomer. Just today I saw Laura Loomer. Facebook is banning anyone that posts Laura Loomer ads. So if you want to put an ad on Facebook for Laura Loomer for Congress, they will ban you. It's a new policy. And then finally, our boy here, Sam, banned from Discord.
Yeah, no, like I think this is a push right now. And it's funny because like I'll argue with people and people are like, oh, Facebook's this like white supremacist website and all that other stuff. Like people keep saying that like Facebook's like helping the right wing and like
it's so
political
stupid.
But I don't understand that. Like they think that they must be like like I don't understand because like you have this big advertiser boycott, but then they do stuff like this. Like Facebook's in like a really stupid position, where they're pissing off both the right and the left. Like I don't know why they're doing that.
Because they're trying to appease both sides in some ways. Like on the one hand, Zuckerberg says, we do allow Holocaust denial because that's free speech. So that appeases the right, 'cause it's like we love free speech. We love having all ideas out there to agree and disagree of. But then he bans Alex Jones and Milo and Loomer and Gavin and Tommy and all these other people we like, and that pisses us off.
Right. Well, it's also like it's like Mark, you're kind of stereotyping here too. Like, we like this, we don't like Holocaust denial. I mean,
I think if you're gonna allow free speech, you have to allow like free speech.
Absolutely.
If you want to go and say that the Earth is flat and deny any fucking event in history, I don't have you should be allowed to go and do it. But I won't go and say that's a solely right wing issue. That's more of a libertarian issue.
Okay, I'm not trying to sound cliche, but it's kind of just simply an American issue, a constitutional issue, a Bill of Rights issue. Like this should be like universal. It should be basic, but it isn't. Unfortunately.
Yeah, but like I just don't like. I think I know what they're doing right now. They're doing this to an upcoming election to make it so that the Trump campaign can't and like people on the right in the United States can't advertise their political parties.
It's 100% why. Laura Loomer could easily win her congressional seat with Facebook. Without it, it's an uphill battle. I think she's still going to win, but she's got to work 100 times harder.
Well, the thing is, and another thing too is like Facebook. I think with this and with a bunch of other stuff, they are starting to be a dying platform, at least for new people joining. Like, even when I was there, it was mostly older people who was on there.
Here, I'll tell you something. This is anecdotal. For my job, I have not recruited a single person on Snapchat, on Twitter, on any platform. The only platform I've ever been able to recruit people on is Facebook. I actually got a legit volunteer that's doing phones from Facebook. It's because Facebook has so many people on there. So many people. They're easier to find too because there's like Facebook groups, Facebook events. Twitter, you can make your own name, some weird shit very easily, whereas Facebook is more people oriented and has a lot of fucking people on there. Facebook is critical for elections right now, and it is. Maybe the growth is slowing. I could see that. Definitely could see that. But man, is it a valuable asset.
I think it's slowing, but for a particular demographic, for people who are probably like younger than 30, and with your particular set of skills in your particular market, you're probably targeting people who are older than 30, I would reckon.
See, I don't even want to target older people. I actually want young people, but the only people that are actually willing to work are older people. Like, that's what people don't understand, I think, is that when you're doing campaigns, you really want somebody helping you every day. you want somebody with you. And you can't have a lot of people come work for you during weekends or weekdays because that's when people fucking work. So it tends to be a lot of stay-at-home moms or just moms in general that had kids, the kids left, and their husband's still working and they don't need to work. Those people is what you get a lot of, and that tends to be older. If you aren't winning those people over, like, you're not getting those people as volunteers. Young people, too, are a fantastic demographic because they have nothing to lose. They might be in college. They have nothing to do. You can scoop them up.
Yeah, that's just like kind of my thoughts on that. Like, I don't know though. Like people, it's just so funny seeing people on the left like just dissing Facebook, and I've been saying that about Facebook for a while, but I didn't want to have my account turned off because of some bullshit verification. And this is coming like right on the heels when they apparently had another disclosure of information to third parties without authorization.
Oh, Jesus.
Like they keep on doing that. That's that kind of bewilders me. They end up like this isn't the first time they've done those unauthorized disclosures to third parties. Like, what's going on over here? And to be fair, though, like Mark isn't. He says he's not changing the current policy, which I don't even know what the left really wants at this point. They already banned people if you say anything, slightly controversial on Facebook. So I don't really know what the left wants. Like, they want it to be like blacked out, like Reddit.
And that's why I don't talk politics anymore on Facebook.
Well, like
that was actually just to mention real quickly. That was another ban. r/Donald banned on Reddit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was quarantined, so it pretty much was banned already.
Yeah, it was like a soft ban, but then they started migrating people over to their site, which was really smart while they could. So they kind of saved. They stayed alive. They survived the ban, but they got banned.
Now, was that the only outright like pro Donald Trump section of Reddit on there? Because I don't know, like I started using Reddit recently. It's just so much of a liberal hive mind.
It is.
On 4chan, 8chan, they always used to go talk shit on Reddit, and now seeing it, they were all right about it. Because like if you go into anything other than like certain like smaller subs, you're gonna just keep seeing like liberal shit, and they're all like, oh, all these right-wing people, they're super racist and like they're dog whistling. Like I had an argument, like Trump posted a picture with like an eagle or something. This guy was trying to say it was like a Nazi symbol, and I was like, dude, it looks like the Marines logo. They're like, oh well, the eagle's facing the right. And I looked up on Google. They had the same thing. It was like the Marines logo where the eagle was facing the right. And I was like, so you're saying this thing's a neo-Nazi article? And the guy was just like, no, I'm not American, duh. I was like,
what?
Dude, shut the fuck up. And then you just keep like getting like downvoted if you say anything that goes against the liberal fucking hive mind on there. Like honestly, this is why I can't stand Reddit.
And that's why I don't try anymore on some of these platforms. So
that is very true about Reddit too, because I use it less frequently recently. I used to be a daily Reddit user, like back in 2016, 17. It's about 2018 I started slowing down. 2019 barely used it. It like especially things like r/politics, which should be nonpartisan. Dude, you say one little thing, and that's not that left wing, and you get downvoted the shit to the bottom. It's happened to me so much. I'm shocked I didn't get banned from that sub. They don't even let you post certain articles on there from certain sources, but it is a very liberal, very, very liberal place. r/Donald was the go-to Trump place. It was the go-to conservative place. There are other conservative subs on there, on Reddit, but this is the biggest one, and frankly, I don't think any conservative is going to use Reddit for conservative politics, like talking about it anymore after this.
Yeah, like I mean, if you just viewed Reddit, you'd probably think like there's no way Trump would have got elected. Like I don't know, like what other platforms are like actual conservatives using now?
Parlor. Telegram.
The thing was, like, say what you will about Facebook, but at least they had private groups on there, and that's what I was in. And you would still see a bunch of stuff on those groups. Like, people could, like I would post in groups, but I wouldn't post like, to my like publicly, and that's kind of where I migrated to, and that kind of felt like it worked. But like, I don't know, Parlor. I use Parlor a little bit, and like people are complaining about it, and they say it's a like a honeypot, or like it's not real. Like I saw the person who made Gab was bitching about it in an email.
Of course he is. It's competition.
I mean,
it's his competition. He's gonna bitch about it. I mean, I didn't read what he said, but I will say, Parlor. And I was saying this to Sam earlier. It has the best chance of all the alt platforms because it doesn't just have banned people on it, but it has people that aren't banned on these platforms on it, like Ted Cruz, Rudy Giuliani, Eric Trump, Brad Parscale, Team Trump. It's got a lot of big names on there. Laura Loomer has over 500,000 followers. I mean, it's also because it's her only platform, but she has over 500,000, which is impressive. But the site still feels like it's in the beta phase. It's lacking a lot of features. It's buggy. It doesn't even work right now because it's being overloaded. There's
Patience.
no trending. We don't have patience. That's the problem. If it doesn't get up to speed now, or even if it does actually, it doesn't matter. It's not going to beat Twitter or Facebook because there's too many people on these platforms, and there's no reason for somebody to migrate over because there's no audience to reach. Like, if Trump moved there, that would change the playing field. That would change the game. But why would he move there? His audience is on Twitter. Why would he go to a platform where he has a smaller audience? It makes no sense. So he won't do it.
Yeah, no. Like, I see what you're talking about over there. I get that, but I feel like, at least right now, we need to have something. And we need to have, like, honestly, they need to just go and shut up with all these different platforms and, like, find one,
and
basically
with
Facebook replacement, find one YouTube replacement, stick to it, and get funding.
Yeah. Parler has a lot of funding, too. I will say that because it's really suspicious. I'm saying suspicious in a positive way that all these conservatives got on there so quickly because none of these people like Eric Trump or Brad Parscale were on Gab or Minds. None of them. But they're all on Parler. And Parler had a booth at CPAC, and they were handing out tote bags. And you could take a picture there, too. I actually have it still of myself in front of their ad shit. Parler, whoever's run the show there knows people, and it's got money, and it's gotten connections.
Yeah, then I saw people like saying, "Oh, it's not truly free speech because like you can't post spam and like porn." Like I saw like articles from I think it was like the Guardian or something about that. I was like,
spam, I can understand. Porn, I think they should allow it. Twitter allows it.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I feel like you need to go and have certain standards. Like when you start at like having porn on there, that like I don't have a problem. Like I personally wouldn't have a problem with it, but like. It creates an issue with advertisers. It creates
Parler doesn't have ads.
Here's the thing with that. The point I was going to bring up. I feel like they have those rules because, like, the App Store is looking for excuses to ban them because they're conservative, right? And so John Mitzi, the CEO, in his defense, has these rules to make it like that much harder. Which, I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks, but I can see why.
Well, here's the thing with porn too. It's like the same reason why YouTube doesn't allow porn. Like once you start allowing that, that is all you will see from certain people. It just becomes a porn platform, potentially.
So.
And that's why yeah, I mean, I get that, but like that scares away people.
Yeah.
There's a reason why, like, I mean, Twitter has it, but like,
I think it's not the first thing you see when you open up Twitter.
Yeah, they have algorithms that would go and like generally hide that and whatnot from the common people. And I think maybe at some point they could if they wanted to, but like that's not the purpose of this platform. It's not supposed to be your porn fix. You know, and you're right too. It's like they will use that as a reason to block the app from the app store. So they kind I feel like that's
It's a
necessary.
strategic play.
You know, Facebook doesn't allow porn. You know, most other and it's not like, I mean, it is sort of a free speech issue to a certain degree, but like so is technically spam. And I feel that like it's good that they don't allow spam because no one really wants to see that. It's automated junk behavior. Like honestly, though, I think they should just go and work on getting it to look good. Work on like, you know, they need to find a pathway to monetization with, and that's probably going to be the hardest thing to do.
Well, the one thing they do have is tips. You can tip people when you see like a post by them, or a parlay as they call it, a parlay. I don't know how you pronounce it. When you see them post, like let's say you see Laura Loomer say something, you can tip her right on that post.
And so are they like taking a percentage of that how they intend to make money?
I would
That,
imagine so, but I'm not sure.
I mean, that'll kind of work, but you have, you know,
It's not the money it's nothing compared to the money you get from advertisers.
yeah, that's kind of like the scary thing. Like, they need to have some, and that's the toughest thing for a lot of these like you know, unicorn apps as they call it. Like even like ones that you think would be able to monetize easily, like you know, like Uber and stuff. Like it's years in, they're still not profitable yet. But once they do become profitable, like that's like how Google was. You know, they weren't making money for like a decade, and then once they did, it's like they're making so much money now they're like almost unstoppable. That's how a lot of these apps work. You know, they're basically fucking funded on you know, Silicon Valley like funding and like tech like adventure capitalists or venture capitalists or whatever. That's how a lot of these things sort of work. But I think for Parlor, it's going to be tougher with advertisers because, you know, there is sort of that right, you know, right wing, you know, leaning on a lot of that platform. That's going to be the first thing, like, especially now that they're going after. But I kind of feel like a lot of these boycotts and stuff, with the exception of Facebook, has kind of been dying down compared to like what I've seen previously. Because I think the BBC or something, they were gonna have people like wear like Black Lives Matter stuff, and they said they weren't because it was a political movement. And you know, I think it like that was kind of a turning point with that. Where like, you know, the BBC, which is a left wing, you know, I mean it's technically government funded, but
Yeah.
you know, it does tend to lean left, and they flat out said they couldn't like put that particular like a slogan or whatever on in their work because it does have political uses. And that's been the biggest thing I've seen from the left. It's like, oh, it's not politics, you know, it's, you know, do you believe Black lives do matter or not? But it is a political organization at its core, and the fact that people are starting to now wake up to that, I think, you know, that's a good thing because like everyone would agree, you know, Black Lives Matter, Green Lives Matter, you know, Mexican Lives Matter. Like people believe that lives do matter, but the issue with that is people don't believe in the
movement.
movement. You know, because look, when you donate to their organization, it goes to Act Blue, which funds the Democrats. You know, it's one of the biggest frauds in recent days.
Yeah.
Like, to speak up about that, honestly. Like, I don't know if he has, but like flat out say that, because frankly, you know, people on the right are being like bullied if they say they don't support this or they're not donating to it. But yeah, so it's a partisan issue. It's not just a slogan. It's a movement.
It's an organization. I'm gonna have to close out tonight because I'm getting pretty tired and I've been up all day and it is getting later. We can talk a little bit off air, but anybody want to plug anything before we close out?
At Sam Whitfield on Parlor. Subscribe to the audio podcast and to the YouTube channel. I'm almost at 700 subscribers on YouTube, so please go over there to the Whitfield Report channel and subscribe. Help me get over that hurdle. And happy Independence Day, ladies and gentlemen. I might do a short audio podcast for you later today, but no guarantees. I fucking love America, and I will forever as long as I live. And just God bless you guys. So.
Yeah, we're on Parlor 2 now at Versa Media, I believe is our handle. I would have to double check that, but I think we're at Versa Media. But yeah, happy 4th of July. Perfectly timed as I see Air Force One here flying over Mount Rushmore. This is a replay from earlier today. Just an absolute epic event the president pulled off. Very beautiful. There it goes, flying over Mount Rushmore. That's awesome. So happy 4th of July, everyone. And we'll see you maybe tomorrow night if we want to do another stream. If not, next week.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah. So,
all right. God bless, folks.
Yep.
And good night. God, freedom, legacy, in that order to everyone in the Whitfield chat and in the Versa Media chat. And God bless you all.
And wash your fucking hands, people.
Yeah, take care.
All right, we are off air.
Yeah.
Wow.